Our next episode is called The Prehistoric Patrick Star Show. It's kind of like a spin-off episode where they go back in time. It's interesting. Here's some clips. I think it's personally a really good episode.
What today's show about, Cave Squadina?
See, like I said, it's actually pretty good. I feel like the Patrick Star Show gets way too much criticism, guys. Like, the show isn't perfect, but it is a good show. It has some funny moments. But anyways, what we're here to talk about isn't funny moments. We're here to talk about mistakes. It's why you clicked on the video. So here's the first mistake from this episode. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help.
This me cave!
Were you able to catch it? Well, when Patrick Cavestar introduces his show at the end of the theme song, part of his outfit changes and gains an extra spot. At first, the outfit looks like this, and it's pretty consistent throughout the episode. But during this one part at the end of the theme song, his outfit is looking weird, man, and it has this extra spot here, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but it's still a continuity error, and this episode has two. Here's the next one. Let's see if you guys can find it without me helping you guys.
Huh?
Dinosaur milk ice cream, it's edible.
This one happens fast, but when Patrick Cavestar finds a prehistoric version of Walter the Waiter selling dinosaur milk ice cream, this is a really cool reference because it's the same dude from the first SpongeBob movie, from Goofy Goobers. He makes these sundaes, as you can see right here. But anyways, when Patrick Cavestar finds him, Patrick's brown beard is just missing. It's just, they forgot to draw it during this one scene, and it's pretty funny. But let's keep the video going, guys, and head back over to SpongeBob. This next episode is hilarious. Next up is the episode House Sittin' for Sandy. This is a really good one. It's basically all about Sandy making the terrible decision of letting SpongeBob and Patrick watch her tree dome. And just, yeah, as you can imagine, SpongeBob and Patrick are not the most responsible people or fish or sponge and starfish. So yeah, it doesn't go very well. Here are some clips.
Was it me?
Yeah, this episode is crazy. Like, at one point, they accidentally activate a bunch of Sandy's robots and just, yeah, a bunch of havoc ensues. But anyways, we're here for mistakes, guys. Some spicy mistakes that you missed. I'm sure you guys missed this one. Keep those eyes peeled.
At the hands of a squirrel?
No, with a fishbowl on my head.
Eureka! It works! The experiment is a success!
Okay, so this first mistake is very complicated, so listen closely, guys, like listen carefully, all right? When Sandy aims the rubble reversal ray, SpongeBob is holding the beaker, as you can see right here, right? When Sandy fires it and SpongeBob and Patrick scream, SpongeBob is now not holding the beaker. I mean, I don't know how he just put it down, but then when the tree dome is fixed, why does SpongeBob yet again have the beaker again? It's like a weird continuity error. I am nitpicking, but this is technically like a continuity error. But let's move over to the Patrick Star Show, and this one's really good, guys. I know you guys are not expecting this mistake. Let's do it. Next episode is A Space Affair to Remember, another episode of the Patrick Star Show, as I just said. This one is pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the plot, I guess. I mean, the episode's fun, don't get it twisted, but I don't know. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves. Here are some clips summarizing the episode.
Dina and I got you reservations.
Who knew ancient Greece was so spacious? You cook a human. They don't even taste good.
Your mother and I had the best time we've had in years.
Well, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's a good plot? I don't know. But what I know that isn't good in this episode is this mistake. There's only one, and it happens quick, but it's still a really bad mistake. Take a look.
Not at all, son. Your mother and I had the best time we've had in years. Plus, now we have this great big juicy ham.
So here's the deal. When Benny and Cecil tell Patrick about their day at the space station, half of Bunny's lipstick appears to be missing. Here's a shot of her with the lipstick normal. It covers her whole, like, you know, her lips. But here's the shot where half of it's missing. Like, I don't even know how the animators made this mistake. It's a very strange one, but yeah, it's a mistake for sure. Up next is the Season 8 episode, Bubble Troubles. This episode is all about SpongeBob and Patrick being idiots like normal because they ruin Sandy's oxygen supply. As you guys know, Sandy's a squirrel, she isn't a fish, so she needs air. And in this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick really mess up. Here are some clips of what happens.
Hurry up, SpongeBob! I'm no doctor, but I don't think squirrels are supposed to be blue.
SpongeBob, Patrick, you guys could have killed Sandy, but the mistake in this episode is really interesting. It shows that the writer of this episode needs to go back and watch old SpongeBob. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Luckily, I have just enough air in my submarine to get to the surface and refill my air tanks.
Phew, thank goodness.
This one's bad, so be prepared, okay? In the episode, there's a point where Sandy thinks she needs to drive her submarine to the surface to get more air, right? Because they're in Bikini Bottom, it's underwater. Sandy's a squirrel, so she needs air from the surface. But here's the thing, back in the classic iconic episode Pressure, it's confirmed that Sandy can quite literally just walk up to the shore. As you can see right now in these clips, she literally walks to the shore. So whoever wrote this episode, Bubble Troubles, needs to go back and educate themselves on OG SpongeBob. Up next is an episode with a very intriguing name, The Krabby Patty That Ate Bikini Bottom. Sounds like a horror movie. In this episode, a Krabby Patty grows too large after Sandy adds one of Sandy's scientific ingredients to it. It's a very interesting plot. I personally like this episode. Here are some clips summarizing it.
Come on!
Yeah, Mr. Krabs, you are crazy, dude. You risked everything. You risked so many people's lives just to potentially make more money with your stupid Krabby Patties. But anyways, what's also stupid in this episode is the mistakes. There's a couple of them. Let's see if you guys can spot the first one without my help.
Can I borrow your telephone? It's ringing. Did you bring a Krabby Patty?
So here's the thing. Sandy's tree dome, right? The inside of it, there's no water. There's no water at all. We kind of talked about it in the last episode, right? No water. So there should be no bubbles inside her tree dome, right? Well, take a look at some of these shots. Normally when SpongeBob characters are underwater and they move around, there'll be little bubble animations, right? But inside Sandy's tree dome, that should not happen. But during this occasion, where Mr. Krabs puts the phone down, look, why are there bubble animations? It also happens when he picks it up. Look, there's bubble animations again. So if you understand animation in SpongeBob, this is definitely a mistake. And there's more. This episode has another mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot this one.
Squidward, that giant Krabby Patty is on a rampage.
Hold it!
Now, this one is admittedly kind of a nitpick, but anyways, in the kitchen, as you can see, this monster Krabby Patty eats SpongeBob's left shoe and his sock. But when SpongeBob and Squidward try to exit the restaurant, his sock and shoe reappear for no apparent reason and remain like that for the rest of the episode. Again, it makes sense because it's a cartoon, right? But this is still a bit of a weird continuity error. Maybe SpongeBob has an extra shoe and sock in his work locker. I don't know. But let's move over to episode number 3, which has even more crazy mistakes. As you guys know, Squidward is a very depressed character. And I kind of get it. Squidward is very grumpy and he can be kind of rude, but he's also very misunderstood. No one acknowledges what Squidward's good at in life, and I kind of get it. Everyone just roasts him and is mean. But anyways, our next episode is Are You Happy Now? And this episode is all about SpongeBob trying to help Squidward find a happy moment in life. It's kind of sad. Here's some clips.
I'll help you make a happiest memory.
Really? Do you think you can?
No problem.
Wow, it's against my better judgment, but okay.
Like I said, this episode's really sad. Squidward just literally doesn't have a happy memory, but thank goodness for SpongeBob actually trying to be his friend. But anyways, let's get into the mistakes. This episode has 2. Here's the first one. I want to see if you guys can find it without me assisting you.
Oops, that was a sour note.
This is not my happiest memory.
This one is pretty bad, as when SpongeBob says oops, that was a sour note, Incidental 104, who is sitting right behind him, is missing her shirt. This is a kid show, so the fact that she's literally just sitting there without a shirt on is very inappropriate. Like, how did the animators forgot to give her a shirt, but still drew her? Let's move on to mistake number 2.
All right, let me see that. The Krusty Krab worked.
This one isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but as you can see in this shot, Squidward drops the work schedule book on the grill, and it just burns immediately, like it's looking very crispy. But when it's lying on the grill while SpongeBob is reading it, why doesn't it burn? Just some weird decisions in this episode for sure. Next up is the season 8 episode, Smooth Jazz at Bikini Bottom. This episode is all about SpongeBob and Squidward trying to sneak backstage for a concert after they end up losing their passes. The concert's a Kelpie G concert, which is hilarious to me. Kelpie G is iconic. But anyways, here's some clips from the episode.
I show you the ticket, and then through some manner of folly, you destroy it!
Yeah, I love this episode. I think it's really funny, and I always love when SpongeBob and Squidward are kind of forced to like team up together. It's really funny. But what isn't so funny is the mistake in this episode. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Now I'll finally get to meet the incomparable Kelpie.
Hey, this is a private area. Only people with backstage passes can come back here.
It's very easy to miss, but when SpongeBob and Squidward are at the Kelpie G concert, they are the only ones with backstage passes, even though everyone else should also have a backstage pass, right? Like, this was such a main plot point of the episode. Why don't all of these other Squidward-looking head dudes have their own backstage passes? So yeah, weird mistake. The episode, Pat the Horse, is a very interesting episode, with it being all about Patrick wanting to become a horse. Pretty much like he sees a picture of a horse and decides that, oh, I want to become a horse. Like, I'm not even joking, guys. This is a hilarious plot. Here's some clips from the episode. It's really funny.
Fucking Bronco.
Hey, I can't blame Patrick. You know, sometimes I wake up and I just feel like being a horse that day. And hey, the dude made for a pretty good horse for the most part. But anyways, let's get into what you guys clicked on this video for, and that is some spicy SpongeBob mistakes. Now look, this first one is somewhat of an understandable mistake due to the fact that SpongeBob is 2D animated, right? Like, 2D animation is not very easy. But during this scene, where SpongeBob sees Patrick running around as a horse in SpongeBob's yard, if you take a look at Patrick's shadow, it keeps disappearing and reappearing underneath him. Here's some footage in slow motion showing this. Not that big of a deal. We have more mistakes in this episode. Let's move over to mistake number 2.
My little way back!
That's me money running away. Come back.
Yeah, so as you can see here in this shot, well, this scene, a bunch of kids fall. And as you can see, the last kid to fall was first seen as light blue. You can see him right here, he's light blue, this kid. But then in a later shot, the dude just randomly changes to green, as you can see in this shot right here. I don't know how the animators even make these types of mistakes, but that kid is green now. Used to be blue, he's green now. And guys, believe it or not, this episode actually has a third mistake, so let's get right into that one. Now, to be honest, this one is not that big of a deal, and it's kind of a nitpick. Like, it's actually really hard to make out. But during this scene where Patrick eats the seaweed field, if you look at him, he's actually slightly orange, like kind of orange. He's still like pink, but you can see that his colors are just off. I don't know, man. Dude is looking way more like an orange in this one scene, so yeah. Anyways, let's move over to episode number 2, guys, which has tons tons of mistakes. Let's do it. Next up is a early SpongeBob classic, back during the Steven Hillenburg era. As you guys know, my favorite time to be a SpongeBob fan, but the episode is Valentine's Day, which of course is all about Valentine's Day. But it isn't about SpongeBob getting something for Sandy or something. He actually gets something for his best friend Patrick, and from here, I'll let the clips explain, the premise of this episode. Take a look.
Happy Valentine's Day! Here's your present.
And I have a present for you. Patrick's still trying to guess what his Valentine is. Here it is!
You got me a handshake?
Yeah! Sandy's here! Woo!
Man, SpongeBob is a really good friend. Like, the amount of commitment he went to just to get Patrick this gift. I know they're dealing with, shenanigans in this episode. There's freaking flying clams trying to bite the chocolate balloon. But overall, SpongeBob's a good friend and Sandy's really nice for helping. What isn't so nice though are the mistakes in this episode. Let's get right into them.
I got my ox in a ditch here. I'm way off course.
So I mentioned the chocolate balloon earlier, and that's actually a big part of the first mistake. So as you can see, this chocolate balloon has a basket attached to the bottom of it. You see it early on in the episode, you see it during many scenes in this episode. But when Sandy fights the chocolate-eating scallops off, the balloon's basket seems to be missing, only showing the string attached to it. The basket does reappear when Sandy arrives at the carnival though, but during this one shot, the basket's just gone. They forgot to draw it, I guess. The season 11 episode is good, but I'll admit the plot is very convenient and random. Pretty much, Mr. Krabs takes a vacation. I'm surprised such a cheapskate would take a vacation, but he takes one. And for some reason decides to make Larry the Lobster the temporary manager of the Krusty Krab. Well, it isn't so random actually. I'll let these clips explain why it happens. Yeah, I don't think a gym bro like Larry is a very good option as the manager of a fast food establishment, right? The Krusty Krab sells the greasiest burgers in the world, and then you're gonna have Larry come in who's a freaking gym maniac. Anyways, let's get into what you guys clicked on the video for, and that's mistakes. Here's mistake number 1. This mistake is pretty simple, and you guys probably could have spotted it yourself. When Fred is first seen in the line at the start of the episode, he's wearing this fresh watch on his wrist, alright? He's got a Rolex on. Fred, he's ballin'. However, when he and the other customers complain about Bubble Bass taking too long to order, the watch has now just disappeared. Maybe he took it off, I don't know. He was probably afraid that Bubble Bass was gonna eat his watch. This was probably a continuity error by the animators. They probably forgot. Simple mistake. Let's head back over to the classic and best era of SpongeBob, that being season 1 with the episode SB129. I personally love this episode. It is so nostalgic to me and there's so many cool scenes in it. Just here's some of the amazing scenes in this episode, and if you haven't watched it, go watch this episode after you're done watching this video. Anyways, here are those clips.
Future!
See, what did I tell you? This episode is awesome. It's just a really good episode and really represents the best era of SpongeBob, the Steven Hillenburg era. I say it all the time, but seriously guys, nothing compares to seasons 1, 2, and 3. Season 13 is pretty good, but season 1, 2, and 3 are amazing. Anyways though, as amazing as these episodes are, there is still a mistake in this episode, and you guys are gonna keep those eyes peeled and spot it right now.
Hello?
So here's the thing, as you guys just seen, the Krusty Krab is closed in this episode, right? It's closed. I guess it's a Saturday or a Sunday, but then why were the doors unlocked? How did Squidward get inside? We didn't see him use a key or anything. It's like the place was just unlocked. So, Mr. Krabs, dude, you need to lock up the Krusty Krab before that place gets robbed. Let's move over to mistake number 2. Okay, so this freezer, as you can see at first, the freezer has a doorknob. Most doors usually have doorknobs. They're pretty, they're kind of necessary for opening a door. But when Squidward closes the freezer door, where did it go? The doorknob just disappears, dude. It was there at first, now it's just gone, which is very funny to me. Next up is a somewhat underrated episode of SpongeBob, that being New Digs. This episode is all about SpongeBob oversleeping and going into work late. And I mean, you guys know SpongeBob. This dude is obsessed with the Krusty Krab. I don't even think Mr. Krabs pays him, but he still goes into work. But yeah, he goes into work late, so he decides to move into the Krusty Krab. That way he's never late again. I don't know about y'all, but I would never do anything like that. But here's some clips from the episode. It's really funny. Yeah, this episode is hilarious. Like, this dude moves his entire apartment into the kitchen. He brings Gary, his couch, his TV. SpongeBob, you need to chill. Work is not that serious. But what is serious is mistakes in animation, and this episode has 2. Here's the first one. Keep those eyes peeled.
Come on, man, my change!
Here you go.
Yeah, well, thank you. Real.
So this first mistake isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but this character right here is Incidental 107, and at one point in the episode, he asks for his change. Now, at first, as you can see, his food and tray are right beside him, like he has his food and tray, but in the next shot, they just disappear. They're like gone. I doubt that dude ate his food that fast, and if he did, I'm kind of impressed. But what isn't so impressive is mistake number 2. Let's move over to that one. Here's some clips.
Thanks, SpongeBob. If I can reach, I'd do it myself.
Now this one is actually pretty bad in my opinion, but when Patrick walks out of the kitchen and says, "Thanks, SpongeBob," his eyebrows are actually missing for an entire frame. I don't know, guys. People don't just lose their eyebrows. This was most likely a mistake by the animators. Let's move over to episode number 2, which has tons of mistakes. Next up is Doing Time, a classic. This episode's from season 3, and as you guys know, Mrs. Puff has been dealing with SpongeBob's BS for a very long time, and he just cannot drive. Mrs. Puff has tried everything, and in this episode, she snaps. She decides that it would be much better to go to jail than have to sit around and deal with SpongeBob. Pretty good episode. Here's some clips.
No more road rage, no more SpongeBob, no more insurance payments, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob!
Personally, I wouldn't choose jail over dealing with a stupid sponge, but hey, Mrs. Puff, you do you. Let's get into these mistakes, guys. This episode has 2. Here's the first one.
Hey, seniors, let's open these windows so the world can see your nice white clothes.
So this character right here is Incidental 6, alright? It's a background character who has appeared in many different SpongeBob episodes before. Now, normally Incidental 6 has a male voice. Here's some clips of him talking with a male voice.
Can I help you? Yeah, I'm ready to order. What do you have?
For some reason in Doing Time, they just switched it up. It isn't that big of a deal since it's just one episode, but yeah, throughout this whole episode, he has a female voice. Very interesting mistake on their end, but let's keep the video moving, guys. Season 5's Krabs A La Mode is another interesting episode. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst, but I do like Plankton's scheme in this episode. Instead of explaining it, I'll let these clips show you what he does. It's very interesting.
That's right. Run, Krabs, for I have found your Achilles heel. I'll freeze you out of business, and I'll do it with your precious thermostat.
Plankton quite literally turned the Krusty Krab into a winter wonderland. At one point, people are literally ice skating around the Krusty Krab, which looks kind of fun, but I don't think that's the place to be doing that. This episode, as I said though, has some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Turn the heat up.
The temperature stays at 62 degrees.
So as you guys seen, a big plot point in this episode is Plankton changing the thermostat of the Krusty Krab. That's how it gets all icy in there. But as you've seen in the clips, he changes the temperature of the thermostat again, but how would he have done this? Because the thermostat freezes, so I don't think it'd be working very well. So yeah, another mistake here, and here's mistake number 2. So speaking of frozen objects, as you guys can see, there is one shot where the cash register is frozen, but then throughout the rest of the episode and every other scene, the cash register is no longer frozen. So a bit of a continuity error. I'll admit the mistakes in this episode are not so bad, but just wait, things are about to get wild. Next up is As Seen on TV. Now, this episode is about the Krusty Krab's first ever commercial, and SpongeBob over here thinks he's famous because he gets like a 2-second cameo in the commercial that airs on TV. It's really funny. SpongeBob gets a massive ego in the episode. It's hilarious. Here are some clips.
And who am I making this bad boy out to?
To my tail fin. I'll get it myself.
F-I-N. There we are, darling.
I gotta say, it's really weird seeing SpongeBob act like this. He's normally such a wholesome character, and he doesn't really care about attention that much. But in this episode, he thinks he's the star of the show. It's really funny the way he interacts with other characters. But what isn't so funny are the mistakes in this episode, and there's three mistakes in one episode. Here's the first one.
Squidward, this crowd is insatiable.
Then why don't you get back in the kitchen and grab some patties and give them what they came here for?
This first one is pretty bad, but I gotta say, you need the eyes of a hawk to be able to actually catch it. So at one point, SpongeBob lifts up his shirt collar, but if you look at the back, right by his fingers, it's like the smallest spot. I'm gonna zoom in on it so you guys can see. They didn't draw the back of his collar. Right there by his fingers, we should be able to see the back of his shirt, but I guess they just forgot to draw it. And now that I've shown you, you know it looks kind of weird. Not as weird as mistake number 2 though. This one's really bad.
We want patties! Well, the most I can juggle is 3, but the show must go on. Whoa!
Okay, so look during this scene. When the crowd says, "We want patties," Incidental 46's waist is purple. Throughout the episode, it looks like this, right? This is how it's supposed to look, but in this one shot, for some reason, it's purple. I don't know what's going on, but hey, we still got one more mistake in this episode. Here's mistake number 3.
A second Krusty Krab? Mr. Krabs, everyone needs an understudy. This is just great. Now we've got no crew to make the commercial.
So early on in the episode, as you guys can see, there is a second Krusty Krab. But here's the problem. It's actually only shown when Mr. Krabs mentions it. In any other shot where you would be able to see it, it's just not there. Like in some of these shots, it should be right there. Here's a shot of it being there.
A second Krusty Krab?
This one is a classic. It's SpongeBob meets the Strangler. And believe it or not, I've got 4 mistakes in this one episode, dude. Let's get into it.
So we're all alone now.
Just you, me, and the floorboards.
We're completely alone.
Oh, yeah.
In that case.
Okay, so this first one's pretty funny. You guys need to listen closely. So throughout this episode, we get multiple shots of the Tattletale Strangler having like a regular hand, all right? As you can see, he has 10 fully functional fingers. There are so many shots. Here's another shot where we can see he has like a regular hand with fingers. And here's even another shot where this dude's got fingers, okay? Remember this. As randomly in the episode and later scenes, his fingers will randomly be replaced with fins. This is a thing in SpongeBob. Some fish have fins, some fish have actual hands, but it doesn't change halfway throughout the episode. This was a major mistake here because again, he has hands as you can see right here. And then in this shot, he has fins. So like, what? Here's mistake number 2 from SpongeBob meets the Strangler.
Let's booger some more!
This next one's pretty straightforward. First, let's take a look at a PNG of Pearl, all right, Mr. Krabs' daughter, Pearl the whale, right here. And you'll notice that her face has this white area right here. This part of her face is white. Remember, it's white. As when Pearl enters the party for the second time, that white part of her face is randomly colored gray. It's not that big of a deal, like you wouldn't notice this while watching the episode, but look at this side by side, and yeah, they got Pearl's design incorrect in this one shot. And poor Pearl, man, hopefully it goes back to normal. I've got more though. Here's mistake number 3.
I'm doing the parking lot for early morning litter patrol. Litter. Looks like someone missed the trash basket, huh?
This one is really funny, and this is the type of mistake that once I pointed out, every time you rewatch the episode, you'll see it. But okay, so when SpongeBob goes out of the Krusty Krab to clean up litter, if we take a look at his pant legs, there's something like incredibly wrong. That's right, they're black. And this isn't like a design change or something, as like seconds later in the next shot, they go back to brown, which is what they're supposed to be. So yeah, this one shot where they're black is just totally a mistake, dude. Like, I don't even know how they made this mistake. Like, look at this. But yeah, let's head over to mistake number 4 from SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. Like I told you, 4 mistakes in one episode. Damn.
Wait for it.
Okay, this one's light, to be fair, but come on, like the past 3 I just covered were really bad mistakes. This one is admittedly light, but it's closer to the beginning of the episode. Now, before SpongeBob puts his slip in to time in or check in for work, this clock right here is moving, all right? Remember, it's moving. But after SpongeBob puts in his slip, the clock just stops moving randomly, which is not what would happen. The clock would just keep on going because it's a regular clock, so like, what? This one seems like more of an animation glitch. I don't think it was a mistake. But hey, mistakes happen, glitches happen, and we've got plenty more coming up. And guys, just so you know, the mistakes coming up are even worse than any of the 4 I just covered. So stay tuned. Let's head over to another episode.
Oh, that sounds like a quarter crying for help.
My son just dropped that quarter.
How do I know he didn't steal it?
As you guys know, Squidward can really not stand SpongeBob or Patrick. So just imagine what would happen if he got trapped with them in a well. Well, that's literally what happens in the episode, Wishing You Well. A really good SpongeBob episode from all the way back in like season 4. You guys know what the drill is though. Let's spot some mistakes. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and like break them down, guys. But yeah, let's do it.
I'm free! Squidward? What were you doing down there? I didn't approve any overtime? Or were you sneaking here?
Okay, so first up, it takes place in the clips you guys just saw when Mr. Krabs says, I didn't approve of any overtime. Let's take a look at Mr. Krabs' eyelashes, and we'll notice that his eyelashes just were not colored in at all. They're just transparent and see-through. Normally, Mr. Krabs' eyelashes look like this. They're like kind of like an orangey color, and more importantly, they're colored in. But the animators slipped up a little bit during this scene because those eyelashes have no color at all, dude. And here's mistake number 2 from Wishing You Well.
Patrick, get off of me! I told you I am claustrophobic!
Nice try, Squidward, but there's no Santa Claus here.
So as I mentioned at the beginning, in this episode, SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick all get trapped in this well together, all right? And when they're all trapped down there, you'll notice that Squidward is wearing his brown shirt, all right? This shirt right here, that he literally always wears. Now, here's the problem. We eventually get this shot where Patrick is sitting on Squidward, which would be terrible. Imagine Patrick's big booty sitting on you, that yacht. I'll pass. But in that shot, if you look closely, Squidward is randomly missing his brown shirt, despite wearing it in all of the other scenes prior and after. Like literally, if we jump to just a couple of seconds before this, he's wearing the shirt, and then when Patrick is sitting on him, his shirt is just gone. So very weird mistake here, and I've got more. Here's mistake number 3 from Wishing You Well.
No one's wishes are coming true. Maybe I just didn't dig deep enough. What do you say, Patrick? Are you ready to dig for some magic?
This one is a classic. I might have even covered it in a previous episode before, but when SpongeBob says, what do you say, Patrick? For a few frames, his mouth is just gone. Poof, it's just missing. How do you forget to draw a character's mouth? I don't know, but it's gone. There's no mouth there. Let's keep it rolling though, guys, and stay tuned. I'm saving the worst mistake for last, and you don't want to miss the random mistake of the day. Let's keep it moving.
Next bus to Bikini Bottom.
Next bus leaves in 5 seconds.
See, Cartoon Corey, he's always got you guys covered. We're back with more classics. We're going to Rock Bottom, baby. One of my favorite SpongeBob episodes. I think any like 90s kid or 2000s kid loves this episode. Modern SpongeBob is really cool, but Rock Bottom is the perfect example of why old school SpongeBob is the best. Even old school SpongeBob has mistakes though. It's actually where a lot of the mistakes are, guys, is in season 1, 2, and 3. And Rock Bottom is no exception. Here's the first mistake. Let's take a look. This first one is kind of minor. As you guys know, SpongeBob is a sponge, so he has pores all over him. He has these holes, and they're all usually in the exact same place. Like, look at this shot of SpongeBob from the first episode. Look at where the holes are, and then look at this shot from like a modern day episode of SpongeBob, and you'll see if we do a side-by-side. The holes or pores are always pretty much in the exact same area. Well, in one scene in this episode, when SpongeBob is sneaking up on the bus, look, his holes are missing. He just has like none of them. There might be a few there that I can't see due to the angle, but for the most part, he's missing his pores, which is probably due to some laziness by the animators, but I mean, it was like 1999. I'll give them a break. 2D animation's really hard. Anyways though, here's mistake number 2 from Rock Bottom.
Home at last.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
This one is really funny, and once I break it down, it'll really make sense. It might not make a ton of sense at first, but at the very end of the episode, SpongeBob uses his balloon, and he finally gets out of Rock Bottom and is on his way back home to Conch Street. Now, if we look at this shot right here of like Bikini Bottom, and we look at SpongeBob's house in particular, it looks like very different from the rest of the frame, almost as if the image was just digitally inserted onto a pre-existing background. Like, look at SpongeBob's house. It literally looks like mans went into Photoshop, cut out his house, pressed Control-C to copy, and then just pasted it on this image. Like, it's so clearly just added in post, which isn't a mistake, but looks so weird. Also, if SpongeBob's house is there, then shouldn't Squidward's and Patrick's also be there? Yeah, kind of a messy shot. Let's keep it moving though and head over to something that's actually a pretty bad mistake. Up next, we have the season 5 episode, A Flea in Her Dome, which is all about Sandy bringing a flea back from Texas and it getting like in her dome and just, you know, infesting it. The plot has a lot of potential, but not a lot of fans like this episode. It's just kind of mediocre, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but it has mistakes. It has one mistake, and let's get right into it. This one will actually be really hard for you guys to spot, so I'm gonna ask you guys, try to comment the mistake before I come back in. Like I said though, it's gonna be hard. You can do it though, gang. Roll that footage.
It sure is good to have you back, Sandy.
Did you guys catch it? Because it even took me a couple of seconds, all right? It has to do with this character right here, Incidental 13, who normally has yellow eyes, okay? It's literally like I'm playing Where's Waldo, if any of you guys know what that is, but Incidental 13 is right here, and you'll notice that they messed up and gave both of his eyes a different color. His right eye is yellow, but his left eye, as you can see right here, is white, which is totally a mistake. Like, that never happens. Characters usually either have yellow eyes or white eyes, so it's not that big of a deal, but I got you. Get wrecked. Here's a mistake. I caught you. Get exposed. And we've got more. Let's head over to another classic episode. There are so many good Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes, but one that really stands out to me is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, which is what we're covering next. See, I wasn't lying. Next up, I had another classic. And this one in particular has 3 mistakes in total. You guys know what to do. Maybe you guys can find the mistakes before I come back in, but roll that footage.
Maybe the conch signal is too much responsibility, but how would you like to spend the rest of the afternoon on patrol?
I may have covered this mistake before, so if I have, I apologize, but when Mermaid Man tells SpongeBob that the conch signal is too much responsibility for him, he's not wrong, to be honest. If we look closely, the television in his house shows a solid red screen instead of a black screen or a moving picture, which was definitely a mistake on the animator's end. Like, why is it just a solid red screen? It should be black or like a moving image on the screen. It wouldn't just be red. So yeah, totally a mistake. I think they were using the red as somewhat of a green screen to replace footage on the screen. As a matter of fact, let's try it right now.
Maybe the conch signal is too much responsibility, but how would you like to spend the rest of the afternoon on patrol?
Boom, see? Definitely a mistake. That was meant to be like a green screen or something. But anyways, let's head over to another mistake from this episode.
Hey, can I drive?
What do you know about driving the invisible boatmobile?
Like the windshield wipers are right here.
Don't touch that button, it's the...
This one's pretty straightforward, and it's only a mistake because it only happens for one frame and then goes back to normal, but for one frame, in this shot right here, SpongeBob's eyes are covered by his headband. This doesn't happen again in the episode. It seems to be just some sort of layering glitch where like his eyes, the layer of his eyes went underneath the headband. I don't know. But because it only happens for a frame and then goes back to this, it's definitely a mistake. And I've still got one more from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Roll the footage.
The conch signal! To the invisible! Vote for Bill!
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Mermaid Man says the conch signal, the right side of his belt turns orange for a split second. Here's a PNG of our boy right here, and you can see his belt is never that color, it's this color. So it turning orange in this frame is totally a mistake. And we've got more, but guys, you know what time it is? Do you guys know it's about to go down? It's time for the random mistake of the day, where we take a quick break from SpongeBob mistakes to talk about mistakes in a random cartoon suggested by you. And one that's heavily been suggested is Haley's on it. But yeah, the episode is UFWO, and it has to do with this character right here, Haley, the main character, her overalls, okay? Roll the footage.
So you two are going to be spending all week working together? That's totally perfect!
Did ya guys catch it? Well, when Christine is talking to Scott and Haley about Logan for the first time, in the first scene, we can see that Haley's right overall isn't folded, okay? We can see it's not folded. But then literally like a second later, it is now randomly folded. This isn't necessarily a groundbreaking mistake, but it's not like Haley had enough time to unfold it. It seems the animators drew it like this and then forgot and drew it like this, all in a matter of seconds, so yeah. Kind of a weak mistake. Hopefully you guys understand now what I mean. I want to do Haley's on it, but the mistakes that I've found in it, they're just not significant mistakes. So yeah, back to SpongeBob. Do let me know in the comments, guys, some cartoons you want me to cover for random mistake of the day. And make sure to upvote other people's comments. So go to the comments right now, and if you see somebody comment a show that you like, upvote their comment right now. All right, back to SpongeBob. We are back, and we have the episode Grooming Gary, which is a good episode. It's actually kind of an iffy episode, but I like the plot personally. It's all about SpongeBob entering Gary into like a pet competition, and it is not Gary's scene. Like all of the pets there are all like preppy, like spoiled pets, and Gary just does not fit in. Take a look at some of these funny clips, and then we're gonna get right into the mistake.
Look at your luxurious mane. Every self-respecting snail has one. The glossy painted shell.
Yeah, poor Gary. Gary's just, he's a good boy. He doesn't need to go and hang out with all of these prissy, preppy pets. Enough about Gary though, let's expose some mistakes. There's one, and let's see if you guys can catch it.
Wow, Patrick, there's a whole lot of pet loving going on here today. Like these.
Yeah, so this one's pretty straightforward. If you pay close attention throughout the whole episode, the pet's owners will change throughout the episode. For example, at first we can see that this pet is with this owner right here, but then if we fast forward a little bit to later on in the episode, look, that pet is now with a completely different owner. Here's another example. We can see this pet is with this person right here, and if we fast forward a little bit, look, they're now with a completely different owner. So kind of a really bad mistake if you think about it. Here's one more example. You can see this pet is with this individual right here, remember? Because if we go to this scene, everything is changed and now they're with this owner, so crazy. Up next, we have a fairly new episode, Plain to See. This is from season 13, and to be honest, I actually really liked this episode. What I didn't like though are the 3 mistakes hidden in it. Here's the first one.
What a beautiful morning. Time to check the mail and see who loves.
Yeah, so this one's quick. It's pretty straightforward. If we even go back to the first season and we take a look at SpongeBob's iconic pineapple home, we'll notice that it has this window right here. Remember, it's always there. This window right here, I'm circling it. Well, at the beginning of Plain to See, as you guys just saw, SpongeBob's house is just randomly missing that window. It's weird because in later season 13 episodes, the window is back, so it's not like they removed it. They just forgot to draw it in this one shot, which is totally a mistake. And we've got more. Here's mistake number 2.
And I'll take the aisle.
Now this mistake is a lot worse. So a big part of this episode is that all the characters are on this plane, and of course there's going to be other passengers on the plane. Now as you guys know, when you go on a plane, if you guys have ever been on a plane before, you're assigned a seat. You don't get to just change seats randomly. But if you pay attention throughout the episode, the seats of certain passengers on the plane will just change randomly throughout the episode. For example, when we first see this dude right here, he's sitting here, but as the episode progresses, he completely changes seats and is over here now. Here's another example. We can see this incidental right here, sitting in this seat, but then they just randomly change to over here. Maybe they're upgrading their seats mid-flight, but that's not a thing. This was definitely a mistake. I'm a total nerd for even noticing it, but yeah, let's keep it moving because we got another mistake from plane to seat. Roll that footage. This one's kinda similar to the last one, but it's a lot funnier. So throughout the episode, it's established that this incidental 41, is the pilot of the plane. So throughout the whole episode, this dude is in the pilot seat, flying the plane, keeping us all safe. We're keeping SpongeBob and the gang safe. But here's the problem, right? We can see him right here as the pilot, incidental 41. But in the scene right before this, we can see him sitting right here in an aisle seat. I know some of you may think that there's multiple of incidentals, but in later seasons, there isn't. There's only supposed to be one of each incidental. To prove this too, take a look at Fred, right? Fred is a full-on character. Like, he's also incidental 1, right? But he's also Fred, the my leg guy, and is his own character. And there isn't like 5 of Fred, there's 1 of him. So yeah, there wouldn't be 2 of incidental 41. Plus guys, there's like 300 plus incidentals at this point. So reusing incidentals in the same scene is extremely lazy. There's no reason for them to do it. Anyways though, I'm ranting. 2D animation is really hard, so we'll give them a break, okay? Like 2D animation is really tough. But let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with more mistakes. Let's do it.
I recognize this goop. It comes from a baby spotted glistening meadow worm.
Dude, those things are worth a fortune.
Did you say fortune?
Next up, we have the episode Pet or Pests. All right, and we're gonna dive right into it. This first mistake is hilarious. Okay, so as you've seen, there's the scene where the worms almost get run over by this truck, right? But if we pause at the right frame and look inside, there's literally no driver in this truck. They just didn't draw a person in the truck operating it. To be fair, they do draw it in a way to kind of hide this fact, but you can tell there's no driver in here and just, yeah, I don't know who's driving this truck. It must be a ghost or just lazy animation. Probably that. Here's another mistake from Pet or Pests.
A great idea you had, Mr. Krabs.
Well, it's like they always say back in the old country, lad.
What's that?
I don't know. I've never been to the old country.
This one is really easy to miss, but towards the end of the episode, when SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are selling the worms, I kind of want one. Would you guys buy one? Let me know in the comments, yes or no. Would you buy one? But yeah, when they're selling them, one of SpongeBob's green holes seems to turn red for like less than a second. It is only for like a couple frames, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that shouldn't be happening. This is probably more likely like an animation glitch, as opposed to a straight up mistake. Still pretty interesting though, and let's keep it moving. Let's head over to another episode. Next up, we have Mr. Krabs Takes a Vacation from Season 8. Season 8 is a really weird season. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the episodes from this season, but honestly, this is a really good episode that a lot of fans really like as well, so I do feel bad bringing up the mistakes, but it's time to expose the episode a little bit. Still a good episode, but it's got 3 mistakes. Here's the first one. Roll that footage. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in, okay? You can do it. Let's do this.
Ready for some fun? Who's ready to look at some vacation pictures?
Okay, so for this one, here's some context. Let's take a look at this PNG of Sandy. And you'll notice right away that Sandy's neck, all right, is always brown. It's the same color as her fur. You guys already know where I'm going with this because this is a very common mistake in SpongeBob. It happens like once a season. But yeah, her fur and her neck is always brown. But in that one scene in Mr. Krabs' house, look, Sandy's neck is white randomly instead of brown, making for a very straightforward mistake. How it happened, I don't know, but let's head over to another mistake that's also pretty bad.
Is it bathroom land? Because I could really use a bathroom right now.
Bathroom land! Oh, SpongeBob, you kill me.
This one's super easy to miss, but when Mr. Krabs is laughing and says, "Bathroom land, oh, SpongeBob, you kill me," his eyelashes are like weirdly transparent instead of brown for a few frames. Very, very, very weird. I don't know what happened here. They just forgot to color in his eyelashes. I'm zooming in and they just look really weird transparent. So big mistake. I got you. And here's another mistake.
Process in which the sheets of silver are pressed. This machine here is where we destroy old money by means of shredding.
All right, one more from Mr. Krabs Takes a Vacation. So throughout the episode, this character right here, Harold, also known as Incidental 40, this also further proves that there isn't multiple of every incidental. There's one of each of them because this is Incidental 40, but he has a name. His name's Harold. So remember this in the future, just saying. But yeah, this guy right here, throughout the episode, he wears a white shirt. But when Bill is explaining that they shred money, pretty much in the same scene, his shirt has just magically changed to a tan shirt. Man just changed his shirt in the middle of the episode, and then it returns back to normal in the next shot, which is wild. So first it looks like this, it's white, then it's tan, and then it goes back to being white all in a matter of like a couple minutes. So yeah, a mistake, and a good one. It's actually a very interesting mistake, and we've got plenty more coming up, so let's keep it rolling. Coming in hot, next up, we've got That Sinking Feeling, which in my opinion is a pretty underrated episode, and you guys definitely agree, this is a very popular Season 7 episode that a lot of fans have liked, especially when there are Season 7 episodes that are poo-poo, they're garbage. That Sinking Feeling, though, is a pretty good one, so as I always say, I feel bad to expose some mistakes, but Cartoon Corey's gotta do what he's gotta do, right? So I'm gonna roll the footage and try to comment the mistake before I come back in and reveal it, all right? You guys can do it. Let's do this.
Too hard.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when SpongeBob and Patrick throw their pickaxes into the air, it happens really, really fast, but SpongeBob's sleeve turns transparent for a couple of frames. Normally his sleeves are white, but in this one shot, it's like see-through, which is totally a mistake, a really bad mistake. The animators just simply forgot to color in one of his sleeves, and it looks really, really rough. And we've got more. Here's another mistake from That Sinking Feeling.
In my yard!
We're not playing in your yard, Squidward. We're playing in our yards.
This one's pretty straightforward, and I'll give Nickelodeon and Rough Draft Korea an excuse here, the people making the episode, that it could be due to the angle in which we see SpongeBob, but even if that's the case, it's still kinda lazy. As in this one shot right here, look, it kinda looks like SpongeBob is missing his right arm. Again, it could be due to the angle, but I mean, you would still be able to see SpongeBob's arm, so I do think that this was a lazy mistake. I don't think it was a blatant one or it was an accident, it was just them being kinda lazy. It happens though, it happens, you know, 2D animation's hard, but guys, you know what time it is? It's time for the random mistake of the day, where we take a quick break from SpongeBob to talk about mistakes in another cartoon suggested by you guys. And I got you, don't worry, Cartoon Corey listens, we're doing Gravity Falls again. The episode is Boys Crazy, and we have 3 mistakes. Roll the first one.
Before you do anything crazy, I want you to hear this. Hope this works.
So this first one's pretty simple, and it kind of applies to all cartoons, but especially in Gravity Falls, all characters only have 3 fingers and 1 thumb. As you guys already know, like a regular hand has 4 fingers and 1 thumb, but in cartoons, even SpongeBob, they usually have 3 fingers and 1 thumb. Remember this. As at the very beginning of the episode of Boys Crazy, when this character right here, Robbie, opens the case to his CD, he has 5 fingers on both hands, which is just not a thing and is 100% a mistake, because if we just fast forward a little bit in the episode and look at Robbie again, look, our dude has 3 fingers and 1 thumb, so they messed up for sure. Not that big of a deal though. Here's mistake number 2.
That is one big hamster tube. Someone's coming! Trying hard not to let my brain explode.
This one's really, really easy to miss. But when Candy, Grenda, and Mabel find the boys inside the cage, there's a quick frame, a very, very quick frame, a brief frame, where Candy's skirt just disappears. Pretty inappropriate, if you ask me. Like, get that girl her skirt back. This is a kid show. All right, one more from Boys Crazy, guys. One more mistake.
Hi guys. I'm sorry I went bonkers. A catchy song made me realize that you were right. Can you ever forgive me?
This one's kind of similar to the last one, but when Mabel apologizes to Grenda, in one frame, her mouth just completely disappears, like she's got no mouth. It's gone. She ain't gonna be yapping at all anymore, because that mouth is gone. Anyways, let's head back over to SpongeBob, guys, the good old yellow spongy boy. Do comment down below what other cartoons you want me to cover on Random Mistake of the Day in the future, even anime if you want to, anything, let me know. But anyways, back to SpongeBob. This is our last one. We're back to SpongeBob. It is Pat Hart's squid. And this one's all about Squidward being forced to live at Patrick's house, and you can just imagine how this goes. So here's a bunch of clips because it's hilarious, and then we'll get right into the mistake.
I wouldn't stay with either of you two if the entire ocean was on fire.
So there's a chance. Yeah, I identify myself.
Patrick?
That is correct. May I ask who's calling?
See what I'm saying? Really, really good episode. I feel bad for Squidward in this one.
My turn.
Okay, so let's take a look at a random PNG of Patrick, and you'll notice that his eyes have a black outline, all right? His eyes have this black outline all around his eyes, like most SpongeBob characters have a black outline. But in the clips you guys just saw, right before Patrick starts dancing, the outline in his eyes just disappears for one frame. Here's a side-by-side of him without it and him with the outline, and yeah, it looks kind of weird. I would never notice this like randomly on my own while watching the episode though, like this is such a small mistake, but it's still technically a mistake, right guys? So I still wanted to mention it even though it's pretty weak. Here's mistake number 2 though.
So, who you gonna stay with till you find a new house, Squidward? Me or Patrick?
I wouldn't stay with either of you two.
This one I'll make it very, very quick. But when SpongeBob is talking to Squidward at the beginning of the episode, some of the holes on his face briefly disappear while he's moving. If we look at him in other shots from this episode, this spot right here is the spot that's missing, like these holes right here. And let's do a side by side and you'll see how awkward it looks when SpongeBob is missing these holes. Like this is totally a mistake. First up is the very new episode, Fun Believable, from SpongeBob Season 13. This episode just premiered and has 3 mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, Rube, should we come back later?
Yeah, later would be good.
Honestly, I had to double take for this one, as when Rube says, yeah, later would be good, take a look at Sandy's stomach. It's missing. It's not supposed to look like that. Normally, as most of you probably know, Sandy looks like this, but in this one shot, yeah. I don't know what's going on with her stomach, but yeah, these SpongeBob animators messed up a little bit. Let's keep it going though and head over to mistake number 2 from this same episode.
Excuse us, Rube, but Patrick and I have something to show you. It's Fun Believable.
Show us what you got.
Now this one is just bad, as when SpongeBob says it's fun believable, his mouth disappears for a split second. Mistakes happen sometimes, but dude lost his entire mouth. SpongeBob needs that to eat Krabby Patties, so I mean, come on guys. Here's another mistake though. This one is just funny, so stay tuned.
We're ready for you.
Are you sure?
So take a close look at this scene while SpongeBob and Patrick rise out of these coffins, as SpongeBob's tie is colored brown like his pants. Normally SpongeBob's tie looks like this. I don't even think I need to show you guys, it's red, but for some reason here it's brown. It's most likely what happened here is the animators got mixed up with the color of SpongeBob's pants, which are brown, and made the tie the same color, but whatever. Mistakes happen, and I've got lots of more, even crazier mistakes than these ones. So let's head over to our next episode for today, guys.
I lost my pen.
You can borrow mine.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Missing Identity is another season 3 banger. Such a good episode full of amazing moments, but it also has a mistake or two. And I hate to break it to you guys, here's some clips showing the mistakes.
Wait. Patrick!
Okay, so here's some context first. So as most of you probably already know, a big part of this episode is SpongeBob retracing his steps so he can find out where he lost his name tag, okay? So he goes through his day again and repeats steps that he did originally. But while SpongeBob is retracing his steps, he keeps missing a step between eating snail po and saying hi to Patrick. What is that step, you might be asking? That's putting his clothes on. As you can see in this shot, that was a big step, but when he's retracing them, he just skips it for some reason. reason. Some of you guys might not really get this mistake here, but trust me, if you've watched the episode, it makes sense. Let's move over to another mistake that's a lot more digestible.
Guys, okay? Am I near the bathroom? Gary?
That last one was a bit weird. Like I said, you need to see the episode to get it, but this one is way more blatant. So, when SpongeBob is tumbling downstairs, ouch, that must have hurt, the stairwell that's normally in SpongeBob's house wraps around the right side of the pineapple instead of the left. Normally it looks like this. Like any episode, if you pull up the inside of his house, you can see that the stairwell wraps to the left. But in this one episode, the animators must have forgot it or flipped the assets because it wraps around the right this time, which is wrong. It's wrong. Anyways, though, let's move over to some worse mistakes, guys. Trust me, stay tuned. This next one is bad.
By the all-seeing eye, ye are worthy, we are not.
What are you two idiots doing?
Next up is the episode Good Neighbors, which is a pretty underrated episode in my opinion, but let's get into the juicy details. I know you guys want the mistakes. Here's mistake number 1.
Go out and paint all the leaves on the trees. Now, out. That'll keep them busy for us.
See you later, Squidward!
So this is another funny one, as when Squidward pushes SpongeBob and Patrick outside to go paint the leaves on the trees, as you can see, the door opens into the house, right? So if you were to open the door goes inside the house. I'm showing you it in slow motion, pay attention. But here's the issue, when SpongeBob and Patrick reappear and say see ya later Squidward, the door now opens to the outside of the house. If you were to open the door, it comes outside. So this is a major mistake here. First, it opens up like this, now it opens up like this, and I'm sorry guys, that's not how doors work. It is a cartoon, but that's not how doors work. Here's another mistake though, stay tuned, this one is just as bad.
SpongeBob.
Good morning, Squidward.
Alright, so take a look at this shot of Conch Street. As you can see, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's house all have these pathways, okay? They all look different, but they have a path getting to their house. Well, when Squidward hears SpongeBob's alarm clock go off in this episode, the ladder's pathway is missing. It's just gone. Poof, where is it? What's funny is it does appear in the episode, but during this one shot, the animators, I guess they just didn't want to draw it. They were feeling kind of lazy because it's not there. That's not it though. Believe it or not, this episode actually has 3 mistakes. Here's the third one.
You did overlook one teensy little detail, however.
What's that, Squidward?
It's Sunday!
It's very easy to miss, but pay attention as before Squidward yells, "It's Sunday," SpongeBob's pupils become uncolored for a split second. They just have no color, and they're not supposed to look like that, dude. I mean, seriously, what a mistake. How does this even happen? And there's more. Let's move over to our next episode. Yeah, your boy Cartoon Corey is addicted to season 3 because I have yet another season 3 episode. I'm talking about Midlife Crustacean. Here's some clips from this episode because it's really funny.
Show up at my house at 8 o'clock.
I just want to warn you, Mr. Krabs, we're always fashionably late.
8:01 p.m.
Now, we might have covered this mistake in the past. I don't think we have, so I'm gonna make it quick, but during the panty raid scene, take a look at Mrs. Krabs' house.
For some credit, old man, we're panty professionals.
Good night, Mr. Krabs.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Eugene, lights out.
As you can see, it's blue. It's a beautiful home. Like, it's a very beautiful home, but it doesn't stay blue, as at the end of the episode when we see SpongeBob talking to a grounded Mr. Krabs, now it's pink. It just changes colors. I highly doubt anybody painted the house in between these scenes, so this was a bad mistake, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
Do you mind?
Don't worry, Squidward. We're boating buddies now.
Let's kick things off with a fairly good episode from SpongeBob Season 6. I'm talking about boating buddies. Here's the first mistake. Roll the footage.
There is no we. Understand?
Quiet in the front, please.
Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly.
This first mistake is funny, as you can tell that the animators didn't think that we'd notice, but nah, Cartoon Corey has the eyes of a hawk. As during this classroom scene, when Mrs. Puff says, "Quiet in the front, please," take a look at SpongeBob's side belt through his desk, as his belt is missing. His pants are just brown. There should be his belt right there, but you can tell that because he was in the chair, the animators just were kind of lazy and didn't draw it, which I get, but hey, it's still a mistake. He should have his belt on, and let's keep it moving. Here's an even crazier mistake, guys. Roll the footage.
And that you didn't need me.
No, I didn't. I never said that.
I don't need your help, and I don't need you!
Jerk.
So as you can see, in this scene where Squidward is talking to SpongeBob about him needing his help, Incidental 7 over here is pink. Alright, she's pink. Remember this, you can see her right here. However, in the very next shot, she just changes colors. First she was pink, but now she's purple. Hey, she looks good purple, but she's supposed to be pink, and I don't think people can just change the color of their skin in the middle of a cartoon episode, so this was another mistake here. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she's not supposed to be purple, she's supposed to be pink. Believe it or not though, that's not it for this episode. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, damn. Here's the third one.
Squidward, you can have the $5 back. Mr. Krabs says
I don't care what Mr. Krabs says! I just want...
It happens back at the beginning of the episode, but when Squidward says, I don't care what Mr. Krabs says, SpongeBob leans backwards slightly, and if you look closely, his black belt, which is, supposed to be black, turns white. It's not supposed to look like that. I mean, it looks cool, but it's not supposed to look like that. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, sheesh. And that's not it, guys. Let's head over to another episode with even more mistakes. Stay tuned, you will not believe what's coming up.
Oh my gosh! Jeffrey, jellyfish! Oh, wait, Jeffrey! I have to touch you!
Hey!
Here's a really quick mistake from SpongeBob Season 2. The episode is I'm Your Biggest Fanatic. I love this episode. Here's the mistake. Roll the footage.
Am I in the jelly spotters now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
This one is very easy to miss, but after Kevin's crown is stung by a jellyfish, if you look at one of his anchovy followers' eyes, yeah, one of the eyes disappears when the jellyfish swims by. It's just missing and it looks really bad, so yeah. But let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep the video going. Stay tuned for some spicy mistakes. Okay, so hold up, guys. Do not click off of the video yet. I know we primarily talk about SpongeBob, but Nickelodeon also has this other awesome show called The Loud House, which is full of mistakes. Now, the episode in question is called Don't You Forget About Me, and for context, guys, listen closely, as the mistake has to do with these 2 characters right here, Lenny and Lily. All right, you can see images of them right here. Pay close attention to these 2 characters during these clips so you can catch the mistake. Roll the footage.
And tease.
So funny! This day hasn't gone at all like I thought it would.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, I did, and it's pretty bad, as when Lenny stops pushing Lily's pram, her head is disconnected from her body for 2 frames. What? That is a bad mistake, dude. Like, the head is just disconnected from the body. How does that even happen? That is just really bad animation. And guys, here's another mistake from this episode. This time though, pay close attention again to the character Lenny, as the mistake has to do with him. Watch him closely. Roll the footage.
Do you know where Coach Nibbles is?
Niblick? He just went to his office to make a phone call. He said it was urgent.
This one's very similar to the last one, as when Lori and Lenny run up to a student and ask where the coach is, Lenny's left hand is disconnected for an entire frame. His left hand is just not attached, and yeah, those are 2 really bad mistakes. Now we're gonna get back to SpongeBob, guys, but leave a comment down below letting me know other cartoons you want me to cover on the channel, Easter eggs or mistakes from other cartoons. But anyways, let's get back to SpongeBob.
Perfect storm.
Well, just leave my present over on the present table. I'm so excited, I've been waiting for a whole year.
Next up is another episode from Season 6, that being Overbooked. This episode is all about SpongeBob being, well, overbooked. The dude just doesn't have time for anything. It seems though that the animators also didn't have time, as they overlooked a couple of mistakes in this episode that I'm about to expose. Roll the footage.
Happy birthday! No!
You finally made it!
Alright, so when Patrick's rock first opens in this scene, take a look at his party hat, okay? It's red. You can see it right here. Remember, it's red. However, in the next scene, this randomly changes. Like, coloring mistakes like this are hilarious when it just randomly changes. As it was red, but his party hat now changes to purple. Like, what? what's going on here? Like, how does it just change colors randomly? That looks like lazy animation to me, and that's not it for this episode. Here's another mistake.
Further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceedings, but I forgot to mail in this mail.
Take a look at these shots of Sandy cheeks. Our girl Sandy has a big furry tail. It's a big part of her character because she's a squirrel and squirrels have tails, right? Well, in Overbooked, the animators forgot about this, as when Sandy says, without further delay, I shall initiate the proto sequence, her tail is missing. And it's not because of the angle, they just were too lazy to draw Sandy Cheeks' tail. Give my girl her tail back, she needs it. And guys, there's another mistake in this episode. Roll the footage.
Have I?
Hello? My birthday cake!
Oh yeah, that! I'm just getting to that. That's why I was here in town.
It's really easy to miss, like very easy to miss. But before SpongeBob walks away to get a cake, man, now I want cake, guys. I'm hungry. Cake is so good. But as he walks away to get a cake, take a look at his left leg as it's entirely white for a split second. I mean, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob's socks are supposed to be white, but his leg is supposed to be yellow. So this was another just really bad mistake. This episode's pretty rough in terms of mistakes, guys, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with even more spicy mistakes. You don't want to miss them.
The one that's obviously not a robot!
Okay.
Ow! Why'd you do that?
You told me to.
I told you to hit the robot!
Here's another quick mistake from another cartoon we haven't really covered before, that being The Amazing World of Gumball. We're always talking about Nickelodeon on this channel, it's about time we talk about Cartoon Network a little bit. Anyways, the episode can be found in the episode The Robot, and for context, it has to do with this lovely character right here, Gumball, okay? So pay attention to him. Roll that footage.
What?
Cupcake! Cupcake! What do you think you're doing? When I said you could copy me, I didn't mean steal my life!
So during this cafeteria scene where Gumball, the character we just mentioned, yells at Bobert, what a weird name, for about a brief moment, if you watch closely, this dude's entire mouth becomes the same color as his head. It's not supposed to look like that. I don't know how this happened. What a weird mistake, but okay, back to SpongeBob. But remember guys, leave a comment, let me know other cartoon mistakes you want me to cover. Any other cartoon on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, who knows? I'll even do The Simpsons if you guys want it, but yeah, let's head over to SpongeBob. This next section is all about OG SpongeBob, the classics. I'm talking about the very first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode. Damn, this episode makes me feel old because it came out so long ago. Here are some funny and hilarious clips from this episode because it's a really good one. Then we'll get into the mistakes. Roll the footage.
Here comes the TV repairman.
What do you want from us?
Hold on, just let me look at you. This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
Now, one thing I missed though back when I was a kid watching this episode was the mistakes. Here's the first one.
And I'll be taking that.
Ah! Help! Help! Help!
It's working.
This first one is weird, and it kind of took me a couple of seconds to realize that it was a mistake. So, at one point, SpongeBob hands Patrick his purse and peers out from behind the building. But when this happens, if you look, the purse can be seen floating beside him. He isn't actually holding it, the purse is just literally floating there. Like I said, it's a weird mistake, you guys might not be catching it, I'm gonna zoom in, but that purse is just floating there, and yeah, talk about a weird mistake, and there's more. Here's another mistake from this episode.
Excuse me, Mermaid Man.
What do you want?
Oh, this better be good.
This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
This is another one that's easy to miss, but once you see it, you'll see it every time you re-watch the episode. As it seems that SpongeBob's pores are reversed when he says, "Excuse me, Mermaid Man." Normally, SpongeBob looks like this, and I want you to pay attention to the holes all over SpongeBob. Those are his pores. A lot of you know this, but to the younger viewers, pay attention to the holes. As you can see in this shot, they look like this. This is how they're supposed to look. But during this one scene in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, his pores are just reversed. Here's a side-by-side where you can see him normally, and then with the pores reversed, you can see it now. It looks pretty bad. Next up, let's head back to where it all began, SpongeBob Season 1 with the episode Jellyfishing, an iconic episode. This episode's so much fun. It really brings me back to my younger years, but what I missed as a kid were the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
That ought to do it.
Okay, so for this one to really make sense, I need to remind you guys of a big part of this episode. So as you can see, Squidward's in this giant cast. And in order for him to hold his jellyfishing net, SpongeBob and Patrick do this. Take a look at this clip real quick.
Firmly grasp it!
Ouch! But as you can see, it's like stuffed into Squidward's hand. He isn't actually holding it. It was like stabbed into this dude's hand, so he wouldn't be able to change which hand he's holding it in. Well, that's exactly the mistake, as if you watch throughout the episode, the jellyfishing net changes hands multiple times despite this not really being possible. Again, it was like stabbed into this dude's hand, which ouch, that would really hurt. But more importantly, dude wouldn't be able to change the hand that's holding the jellyfishing net, so a mistake here. Next up is a quick one from the Patrick Star Show episode, Clopnodian Heritage Festival. Roll the footage and pay attention to Cecil over here, as the mistake has to do with him, more specifically his face.
It seems the boy is sweat shy. Would you mind turning away?
It only happens for one frame, so it's very easy to miss, but when Cecil over here talks to these older men in the Flop Sweat Lodge, dude's entire mustache turns blue for a whole frame. Like, what? It's not supposed to be blue. This is how Cecil normally looks. It's supposed to look like this. But for this one frame, dude's mustache is blue. It looks fresh. I guess he's like an emo kid. He dyed his mustache blue. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move over to another episode with more mistakes.
SpongeBob, will you make that racket stop? SpongeBob, you open this door right then!
Season 4 Squidward is an interesting episode where SpongeBob makes a puppet version of Squidward that people like more than regular Squidward. I don't know about you guys, but that would really like upset me. That would cheese me, dude, if people liked a puppet version of Cartoon Corey more than real Cartoon Corey. But anyways, this episode has a mistake. Keep those eyes peeled, guys. I want you to spot this one without my help. Leave a comment on what the mistake is before I reveal it. Roll the footage.
Can I take your order?
No, I don't like your attitude, bub. Is this what the Krusty Krab calls friendly service?
So take a look at this shot of the inside of the Krusty Krab, okay? It looks like this. We've got Squidward's cash register right here. There's the order window where SpongeBob would give Squidward the Krabby Patties, and there's the door to Mr. Krabs' office, okay? It's a really big part of the inside of the Krusty Krab. Well, during this scene when Sandals over here is placing his order, both the door to Mr. Krabs' office and the window to the kitchen are missing. This is a really weird mistake to make. It seems the animators were just too lazy to draw something as simple as Mr. Krabs' door, and I mean, like, this window right here is so important. The door I get, but the window to the kitchen where SpongeBob literally pops out all the time? How did the animators miss that? But whatever, here's another mistake.
That was awful!
Take a look at this old geezer right here. This is Incidental 92. He is this like greenish color, okay? He's been other colors, but literally 90% of his appearances, he's been this green tone. Now, the mistake is that in Squidward, during this one shot, when Squidward is tweaking and snapping on mini Squidward over here, Incidental 92 is incorrectly colored as purple, which is just totally a mistake. Because as you guys see, like literally early on in the episode, the dude is green, and then he just changes colors. I don't know if that's possible. He looks good purple, but that's not how it works, guys. You can't just change the color of your skin in a matter of scenes, so yeah, a mistake. Let's keep this party going though, guys, and head over to our next episode. We've gotten to see many grandmas in SpongeBob. We've seen SpongeBob's grandmother in this iconic episode here, and we've also seen Mr. Krabs' grandmother before, even Squidward's. But in the season 7 episode, Grandma's Secret Recipe, we get to meet Planktons. Take a look at this.
That looks simply delightful.
You once told me that this was your favorite flavor growing up as a child.
Ration?
I will say, as much as I like the plot for this episode, it is one of the most pointless episodes of SpongeBob ever, and it is kind of boring, so I don't recommend it. And there's no surprise that there's a mistake in the episode. Roll that footage!
Oh, great Grammy Ma, you win again! All hail the great Canasta Master!
This one's very subtle, but once I point it out, you'll see that it's like really bad. So when Plankton and SpongeBob are playing cards over here, the animation cell for the table in the background, this one right here, seems to be placed above SpongeBob's. So if you watch closely, parts of SpongeBob's left hand are erased or cut off multiple times when it goes near the table. I'm zooming in and putting it in slow motion right here, and look, you can see that his fingers get like cut off because they go like behind the table or something. It's a weird animation error. How this happened, I don't know, but they gotta be more careful because this one just looks rough, dude. What?
Dish. I wonder what it could mean. Shh, quiet. Try to think.
Here's another one from the Patrick Star Show. I really do feel like this show is overrated. It's a bit of a weird spinoff, but anyways, here's the first mistake.
It's Robot Burger Day!
I can't hear you because it's Robot Gardener Day.
Okay, so this character right here is Incidental 41, okay, and he looks like this. Now, in Patrick's Alley, we get this baby version of him. He's so adorable, I want to pinch his cheeks. Now, what's important is that Incidental 41's mouth, right here, his mouth and lips, are always purple, okay? Even in this episode, the baby version, we even see him with a purple mouth. But during this scene, when the babies are seen on the lawn, Incidental 41's mouth, well, baby Incidental 41's mouth, is awkwardly colored yellow randomly just for this scene. Like I said, it's purple throughout the episode, but in this one scene, it's yellow, and that is incorrect. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just a character's mouth, but yeah, this is a mistake, and there's another one in this episode. We might have covered this one in the past, so I'm actually going to keep it quick, but while Patrick and Squidina are fishing, there's one frame where Squidina's left eye is purple, the same color as her body, so totally a mistake here, and guys, there's more to come. Let's head over to another episode. Up next is another Season 4 episode, this time, The Scent of Money. Now, this episode's actually pretty good. Take a look at some of these funny scenes.
You said that pets were nothing but disease-carrying vermin that should never be brought to the workplace?
It sure is hard being triggers.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing Mr. Krabs dressed up like a lady like this is so funny. Like, look at this dude. But this scene's also where we can spot a mistake. Roll the footage.
You look fine to me. Quit being such a baby and start making me some money. Excuse me, pregnant.
Yeah, so when Mr. Krabs is freaking out at Gary and just being like a psycho and says, now quit being such a baby and start making me some money, Mr. Krabs has problems, dude, what? Anyways though, as Mr. Krabs says this, the spots and spiral on Gary's shell disappears, like it's just gone. It's so weird seeing Gary like this. I'm zooming in, and him with just a bare pink shell is so weird. And it's not the only time it happens in this episode. It also happens during this scene.
Oh, who do you think you are? Jackpot!
Yeah, so take a look at this during the arcade scene. As Mr. Krabs lifts Gary up, at least the swirl's there, but the dots are gone. A little reminder for you guys, this is normally how Gary looks. He has the swirl and he has these dots right here. But when Mr. Krabs picks him up in this shot, those dots are just gone. Where'd they go? They're missing. SpongeBob Season 7 has a lot of hit or miss episodes, but the episode Welcome to Bikini Bottom Triangle is actually pretty good. It's one of the stronger episodes out of the season. Here, take a look for yourself. Take a look at some of these hilarious gags from the episode.
Yeah, backwards. What a stupid idea that.
Okay, it is mistake time, guys. Here's mistake number 1. Put your mistake glasses on and let's find it together.
And those two couldn't have made it, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak Plankton. I gotta stop that poor excuse of a life form from a
It happens really, really, really fast, but when Mr. Krabs says, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak Plankton, this man seriously has beef with Plankton, but when he says it, take a look at our favorite Krab's left sleeve. As it turns red, it turns to the same color as his skin. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys, but if you want more mistakes just like this video, click this video right here. Do it, click this video. I talk about plenty of more mistakes in SpongeBob and other cartoons, and you don't want to miss them. They're wild. Seriously, there's one mistake in this video that almost got SpongeBob canceled, so click the video. Let's go and watch it together. I'll see you guys over there. Click it, do it. Are you ready, kids? Because in today's video, we're going to be exposing a ton of SpongeBob mistakes, just like this one that made it into this final version of this SpongeBob episode. Or even this mistake right here. Wait for it. Boom. See, right here, this mistake, we're going to be covering tons of these today. As a matter of fact, we're going to be covering over 20 of them in 20 minutes, so let's get right into it. Let's do this.
What is it now, boy?
Whenever I blink, I see nothing but the darkness.
Then don't blink.
First up, we have the episode Nightlight. This is an interesting episode. It's all about SpongeBob developing a fear of the dark, but we're not here for all that. We're here for mistakes. And there are 3 really bad mistakes in this episode. The first one's gonna blow your brain, so let's roll that clip. Roll that footage.
Mermaid Man!
Barnacle boy!
Aw, are you guys here to protect us from the darkness that surrounds us?
See, this is how you guys know I'm not clickbaiting you, as this first mistake is actually really bad. It's just as bad as I said it is. As when SpongeBob asks Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy if they were at his house to protect them from the darkness. What a dork. Look, SpongeBob doesn't have any legs. Like, they just did not draw his legs. To be fair, it's only for a couple of frames, and it's because his body lifts up from the bottom of the screen, so I don't think they were intending for this to happen, which is why it's a mistake, and it's a bad one. Here's mistake number 2 from Nightlight. This one's pretty bad. It's not as bad as this one, but it's still pretty bad. Roll that footage. Did you guys catch it? This one's just weird. So as you guys just seen in that clip, SpongeBob is carrying a bunch of lights and he's supposed to walk off screen, meaning we're supposed to see his body until he goes off screen, right? Well, if we pay close attention when SpongeBob is carrying the lights, he actually just disappears and vanishes before going off screen. I'm a total nerd for even catching this, but look, I'm gonna play it in slow motion, watch, and as you can see, SpongeBob just goes poof. He just vanishes before he's supposed to go off screen, which isn't a big deal, but it's still a mistake. Like, that's still a mistake, and I've still got another mistake from this episode. This one's pretty rough. And here's a hint, it has to do with Mermaid Man, okay? Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and yap on about it. Let's see if you guys can spot the mistake without my help.
Has saved me so much time.
This is what passes for infotainment these days?
Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at this PNG of Mermaid Man, the legend, just saying rest in peace to his voice actor, he's iconic, but as you can see in his design, Mermaid Man always wears these gloves. Well, in Nightlight, when we get the first shot of the interior of the Shady Shoals retirement home, look, Mermaid Man is missing his gloves. Now, this in and of itself is technically a mistake, but the reason that this is really a mistake is after this shot, look, he has his gloves on, which kind of makes it obvious that in this first shot, they forgot to draw his gloves. And stay tuned, guys, because the mistakes are going to get crazier as we go. You already seen that first mistake was really bad, so stay tuned as I'm saving the worst for the ending of the video. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. Let's head over to episode number 2.
Krabby Patty's really hit the spot.
And next time you might want to try chewing them. You're gonna blow up like a balloon.
Nonsense.
Next up, we have the episode The Other Patty, which is an interesting episode, but we're just gonna get right into the mistake for this one, and here's a little hint for you. It has to do with Plankton, our favorite green little evil dude, whatever he is. He's a plankton, actually. And more specifically, it has to do with his big mouth that he's always yapping on.
Krabby Patty?
Another restaurant. Looks like Krabs has some real competition, huh? Interesting.
All right, I know I've trained you guys well because I'm sure you guys caught this mistake right here. As when Plankton says interesting, look, his mouth like duplicates. He has like 2 mouths in one shot. Like, what? It looks so weird, dude. I especially feel bad for Karen, his computer wife, because now that he has 2 mouths, she's gonna have to hear him yapping on all the time. Just like you guys have to hear me yap on all the time. Anyways, though, guys, normally we do this thing called random mistake of the day, but we're gonna switch it up for today, and we're gonna do a couple of random mistakes. So it's time for a random mistake, where we take a quick break from SpongeBob to talk about a mistake in a random cartoon suggested by you guys, and then we go right back to SpongeBob. So don't click off, hold tight, we're gonna go right back to SpongeBob. For this section, we're going to do Pokemon. So let's talk about some Pokemon mistakes, and then we'll head right back over to SpongeBob and talk about SpongeBob mistakes. Roll the footage.
We really need you to capture this Pikachu.
Pikachu? These pictures rot.
Please.
Did you guys catch it? Well, we have two to break down, and they both take place in the episode Pokemon Paparazzi from the Kanto region. Okay, so first things first, for this first mistake to really make sense, we have to take a look at like art of Pikachu, and we'll notice that Pikachu on its back always has these like stripes. There's like two brown ones on his very back, okay? Remember this. As eventually when Team Rocket shows Todd the pictures of Ash's Pikachu, Pikachu is missing all of the stripes normally found on its back. Here's a side-by-side, and these stripes right here, I'm arrowing them, should be right here in this shot from Pokemon Paparazzi. I almost just died from running out of breath, but hopefully you guys get the mistake. And here's one more from the same episode, and then we're heading right back over to SpongeBob.
I can't work like this. What do you mean, Todd? You have a real talent for showing Pokemon the way they should be seen. That's why I never want to shoot a Pokemon.
Okay, so this next one has to do with Todd, more specifically his camera, okay? I'll make it quick, but throughout this episode, for the most part, the strap on his camera is yellow, as you can see here, all right? He's got a yellow strap. The problem, though, is that this will randomly change throughout the episode. For example, when Brock compliments Todd that he has a talent for taking pictures of Pokemon, the strap is now colored black. I'm showing a side-by-side, and it was yellow before. So this was definitely a mistake, and let's head back to what you guys really want, which is SpongeBob. Do let me know in the comments, guys, what you want me to cover for future random mistakes, all right? Back to SpongeBob, though. Let's do it.
I'm not taking a bus, SpongeBob. I am watching this pole, so the next time it moves, I will see it!
The next episode we'll be talking about has 3 very spicy mistakes hidden throughout it. There's actually more, but I'm only gonna fit the 3 into this video. The episode is the Krabby Chronicle, a season 6 episode that is pretty good. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. Before that though, let's expose these mistakes. Here's the first one.
Satisfied regulars, Mr. K?
I ain't interested in the same old regulars, SpongeBob, so I took out an ad. 'Twas a bargain, too. Only cost me a...
Yeah, this one's really, really bad. I have no idea how it made it onto TV, but when Mr. Krabs talks to SpongeBob in the first scene, SpongeBob's legs are curved to make it look like they are like disconnected from his feet for some reason. Like literally, dude, look at his foot here and then look at where his leg is. Like, what? How did this even happen? I've covered a lot of bad mistakes in SpongeBob over the years, guys. Like, I am a SpongeBob nerd who has no life and spends every day looking for more SpongeBob mistakes. I mean, I've done over 1,000 videos on the topic, and this is up there as like a top 10 like worst mistakes ever. Also, if you pay close attention for a couple of frames, look, his holes disappear here as well too, so just very rough. Here's mistake number 2 from the Krabby Chronicle. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and explain it, okay? I know you guys can do it without my help.
Good night, boy. I'll check on you tomorrow morning.
Oh, the wildest story ever, huh?
Okay, so what's really important here, you guys just seen it in the clips, is that SpongeBob is left in Mr. Krabs' office overnight. Now, when Mr. Krabs leaves the office, we can see Mr. Krabs' office door is behind SpongeBob right here, all right? Remember this door. As in the very next shot, where does it go? We see like a very similar angle, and the door should be right here. I'm arrowing where the door should be right here. As if we go back to the other shot, I'm arrowing it again. This is where it is here. And I highly doubt that like SpongeBob or Mr. Krabs did like home restaurant renovations in the middle of the night in a matter of seconds. The animators drew the door and then forgot to draw it again, which I'll excuse them for because this is an old episode, but it's still a mistake, and we've got more. Here's mistake number 3 from the Krabby Chronicle.
What's going on?
You should know!
Bogus Stories pays his tired, underage reporter pennies while he rakes in the dough.
It's time for mistake number 3. So, when the picture with Mr. Krabs shouting at SpongeBob is shown, there's something missing. Now, here's the thing. Let's take a look at a random PNG of Mr. Krabs, and you'll notice his shirt right here has a collar right here. I'm arrowing it. But if we go back to those pictures I just mentioned from Krabby Chronicle, look, Mr. Krabs' shirt is randomly shown with no collar, which really is not that big of a deal, but it's a mistake, and I caught it. Like, I found that. And I've got more. Let's head over to another SpongeBob episode, guys. Lots of crazy mistakes coming up, and the ones in this last episode were light. Just wait until the ending of the episode. Next up, we have the Crusty Sponge, okay? And this first mistake is kind of interesting. Let's see if you guys can catch it. It has to do with a character's name that is said. Roll the footage.
The verdict. We have, Your Honor. We, the jury, find the defendant, Eugene A. Krabs, guilty of all charges.
Did you guys catch it? So, in the courtroom scene you guys just saw, Gene Scallop says, "We the jury find the defendant, Eugene A. Krabs, guilty of all charges." But here's the problem, alright? If we go to the Wikipedia page of Mr. Krabs, or the Spongepedia page, Mr. Krabs' middle name does not start with an A. It's never started with an A. His name is Eugene Harold Krabs. Yeah, so definitely a bit of an error here. I do not know where that judge got the middle name that begins with A from, but yeah, let's head over to mistake number 2 from this episode.
Mr. Krabs, what have you done?
We have, Your Honor.
Alright, so as you guys just seen, at one point in this episode, it's shown that the spongy patties make this fish right here turn yellow with green spots. But here's the problem. As the episode progresses, we eventually see Jimmy Gus in the stands right here. Yet he's just the normal color he originally was with yellow spots. So, have no idea what's going on here. Now, I'm gonna head over to another episode of SpongeBob, but guys, it's time for another random mistake. So let's take another quick break from SpongeBob and talk about mistakes in the show Fairly Odd Parents. We'll go right back to SpongeBob after, don't worry, so don't click off yet. Plus, Fairly Odd Parents is pretty cool, and it's getting a big reboot soon that you guys are all gonna be watching, so we're gonna take a look at mistakes in the original series.
We're geeky comic fans, right about how cool I am. Hey, look! It's a letter from you! You spelled chin wrong.
Did you guys catch it? It takes place in like the 3rd or 4th episode of the original series, Chin Up. And here's what's going on here. So Timmy Turner is the main character of the show, and he's a big fan of the Crimson Chin, who's like a comic book superhero. So Timmy writes a letter to Crimson Chin, okay? Now, in the scene where the Crimson Chin reads the letter, he points out that Timmy misspelled the word chin, C-H-I-N. But here's the problem. In both the initial shot of the page and the wide shot of the page, if you look, he spells chin correctly. So Mr. Krim says that he misspelt the word, but we can literally see it spelt correctly right here. It isn't until we get the zoomed in shot where we can see that it's spelt incorrectly. It's spelt as C-H-Y-N. So yeah, really weird mistake here, guys. And let's head back over to SpongeBob.
Oh, look, it's a picture I took of you the first time I ever came here. Ah, look at you, so young and happy. Where do the years go?
Next up, we have the episode Party Pooperpants, where SpongeBob holds this whole party and is just such a control freak, but we're not here for all that. We're here for mistakes. So here's the first one.
Guests arrive, 8:05 to 8:15. Opening remarks and general discussion, 8:15 to 8:27. 9:07, running charades. 9:38, charity apple.
Yeah, this one cracked me up a little. It's very easy to miss, but when SpongeBob is reading his schedule, if we look over at Gary, he is missing like the red swirl groove that's normally on his shell. Here's a PNG of Gary. Normally his shell looks like this, but in this one shot, it's just missing, which is kinda lazy on the animator's end. But this episode was also animated in like 1999, so I'll give them a break. With that said, here's mistake number 2.
This party was a complete disaster.
That was the greatest party. See ya!
This one's like a weird one, and I'm a complete like nerd who needs to touch grass for even noticing this in a kid's cartoon. But at the end of the episode, when Patrick closes the door, if we look at the door handle, right, this thing right here, it's the same color as the door. Now you're probably asking why this matters, but remember this, okay? The door handle is the same color as the door. As in the very next scene, literally like seconds later, look, the door handle has now randomly changed to like a golden one. Like what? Originally, it was the same color as the door, as you can see here. I'm doing a side-by-side. But then in this next shot, it's gold. Yeah, a mistake. And like I said, it's a weird one, guys. But here's mistake number 3 from Party Pooperpants. This one has always made me laugh.
Hey everybody, thanks for your patience. I know we've gotten off to a rocky start here, so I'm gonna get us back on track.
It is now 8.
Okay, so if you're not like a hardcore SpongeBob fan, you probably did not catch this mistake at first, so don't worry, I'll break it down, I'll explain. Normally, if we look at any other shot of SpongeBob's living room, SpongeBob's couch looks like this. It's green with some blue, okay? Remember this. If we go to like season 13 and we look for a shot in his house, it looks like this. But in this one shot of Party Pooperpants, look, SpongeBob's couch is like red, randomly. This has never happened after this and never happened before this, so it's actually like a really bad error because of that. I personally think it looks cooler red though, just saying. But anyways, I've got one more mistake from this episode, and then we're gonna head over to some more spicy episodes of SpongeBob. For this one, I want you to try and comment the mistake before I come back in and explain the mistake, okay? You can do it. Roll that footage.
Don't worry too much, Gary. It's only 10 seconds past 8 o'clock. No, it's 20 seconds past 8 o'clock. Maybe nobody got their invitation.
Okay, so a big part of this episode is SpongeBob is holding this party, and everybody is supposed to arrive for the party by 8 p.m. Now, at one point, SpongeBob says that it is 8 p.m., but he also checks his watch, and if you look at his watch says that it's 3 p.m., despite the fact that SpongeBob has literally already established that it's 8 p.m. So either the animators made a mistake here, or SpongeBob needs a new watch, dude. Like, that thing is broken, my guy. All right, guys, let's head over to another episode and stay tuned as the mistakes are going to get crazier as we go. We've got another season 14 episode for you guys, another very recent episode. It's Sponge Chovy, and we've covered this episode in the past, but I found a new mistake. Let's skip all the talking and get right into it. Take a look at this mistake. Let's see if you can catch it without my help. You guys know the drill.
Surface world of pizza, what do you want? Hey, you wanted the pizza as soon as possible?
You guys may have caught it, but when the Surface World Pizza chef answers the phone, we can see him wearing this fresh Apple Watch right here, okay? You can see it right here. And it should stay on his wrist for the remainder of the scene, right? However though, in the next shot when he hangs up the phone, look, his watch is now missing. And this all happens in a matter of like seconds, guys. It's not like he took the watch off, it's like he's wearing it, and then like a second later, he's no longer wearing it. What? Hey, I love season 14, but the fact that there's already mistakes happening is hilarious.
Hey, what are you burning out here, boy?
I'd say high-grade explosive.
Gene!
This next one is another quick one. It's from the episode One Course Meal, and here's a little hint. I'm gonna roll the clips with the mistake. It has to do with Plankton, so pay attention to your favorite little green evil dude, okay? Roll the footage.
Enjoy, Eugene!
Did you guys catch it? It's very easy to miss, and it takes place when he's gliding, as if we pause at the right frame, for example, right here. Yeah, Plankton's teeth turn green for a frame, which is not supposed to happen. That's not a thing. Plankton has white teeth, and I'm just saying to all of our younger viewers out there, if you ever have green teeth, make sure to go and brush your teeth. Anyways though, like I said, this one's a quick one, so let's head over to another one with a bunch of mistakes, okay? Next up, we have quite the fan favorite episode. I'm talking about Nature Pants, where SpongeBob goes to live with the jellyfish in the wilderness instead of just being a normal spongy boy. I love this episode. It's a really good, classic, nostalgic banger of an episode, but of course it still has mistakes. To be honest, guys, the older, more nostalgic episodes usually have the most mistakes due to animation not being as like good at that time. Anyways though, I'm yapping too much. Here's that first mistake.
Buzz.
Okay, so a big part of SpongeBob living in the wilderness is he does something crazy. He gives up his iconic SquarePants. Crazy, right? I know, like, what? These are such an important part of your design, SpongeBob, but he wants to be like a homeless sponge, so it makes sense. Now, as you've seen, when SpongeBob stands in front of the Krusty Krab door during that section of the episode, a part of his pants can be seen. But the problem is seconds before this, he's naked, and directly after this, he's naked again. So you can see that for this one shot right here, the animators slipped up. SpongeBob is still supposed to be naked, especially because he's naked before this and after it, but they mistakenly put his square pants on him. So yeah, kind of a funny mistake. Here's one more from this episode.
Mr. Krabs, what do we do?
Here, use this!
Okay, this one is definitely one of the harder mistakes I've ever found. So, in the clips you guys just saw, when the fire extinguisher hits the grill, we can see that the patties are randomly shifted like significantly to the left. Here's a side-by-side of where they were before and then when they're moved. And what's really bad here is if we look closely, there's one that is literally floating mid-air in front of the cabinet right here. This is corrected in the next scene right before the grill bursts into flames, but dude, that is a floating Krabby Patty. It must be haunted by the Flying Dutchman or something. That or the animators made a little oopsies. I think that's what happened, huh guys? Well, we've got more oopsies. Never let me say that again, but we've got more oopsies to expose. So let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Next up, we have like season 9's most underrated episode in my opinion, and that's Tudor Sauce. This is like a really good episode. Usually in modern era SpongeBob, it's very hit or miss, and even the good episodes still have some issues, but this one is a really good episode, 10 out of 10. Because of that, I actually feel kind of bad because you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna expose some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Inch.
Oh, broken wall.
Did you guys catch it? This is a pretty common mistake throughout SpongeBob, all right? But when the patties are burning and we can see inside the Krusty Krab, look, the galley grub and order here signs are missing. If we take a look at any other shot of the Krusty Krab, the inside of it, there's always the galley grub menu right here, which has all of the items available for order, for example, like a Krabby Patty, as well as the order here sign, this green sign right here. But yeah, in that one shot, the animators just did not draw them. So pretty much like a bad mistake if you really think about it. They should be right here, but they're not. I'll forgive you though, it's not that big of a deal. And here's another mistake from the same episode that's actually pretty similar.
Gear. You missed one.
Did you guys catch this one? Well, when Squidward says, "Ya missed one," if we take a look at the galley grub menu itself, galley is misspelt. It's normally spelt as G-A-L-L-E-Y, as you can see here. Here's an example from another episode where they got it right. But in this episode, in this one scene, it's spelt as G-A-L-L-Y grub. So yeah. Aside from these two mistakes though, I will say this episode's really good, so go give it a watch after you're done watching this video. Especially because we've got more mistakes coming up. Let's head over to our next episode, and this episode has 3 mistakes in one episode.
Disqualified!
You left some bitter tears on the nightstand.
We're heading over to season 7 for this next episode, Cracked Krabs, and this episode is very mixed. I don't think anyone would say that it's like an amazing episode, but it also isn't the worst episode ever, but whatever, we're here for mistakes. Let's see if you guys can comment this mistake before I come back in and break it down. I know you guys can do it without my help. Roll that clip, let's do it.
Win! Put it there, SpongeBob, me boy!
Sure! Whoop.
Okay, so this one's closer to the ending of the episode in the clips you guys just saw, where Mr. Krabs snaps SpongeBob's hand off. Now, when this happens, if we look very closely, Mr. Krabs' feet are blue. Here's a random PNG of Mr. Krabs. I don't even need to show you guys this, but he has red feet. Look at those red peg leg feet right there. They're not blue. So I have no idea why they're blue in this scene here. The only thing I could think of is Mr. Krabs' pants are blue, so it might have been like a coloring mix-up where they colored his feet the same color as his pants. But yeah, definitely a mistake, and here's another one from Cracked Krabs.
See you next year!
So this one actually takes place close to the last scene we just covered, so I will make this part quick. But SpongeBob's teeth turn yellow just as that trophy is yanked from Mr. Krabs' hand. I don't think I need to tell you that that's not supposed to happen. SpongeBob, go brush your teeth. To be fair, yellow teeth is like a very common mistake in SpongeBob, but no matter how common it is still a mistake. SpongeBob's teeth are not supposed to be yellow. Anyways though, one more from Cracked Krabs, and then let's do another random mistake.
Gene Krabs! In Sign of the Times!
Oh! Okay, so a lot of you will probably already know this, but when it comes to the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket, canonically, they are directly across from one another. We've seen this in so many episodes before. Here are some examples of it. Here's one. Here's even another example. You can see they're across the street from one another. And here's yet another example. Like, they are across the street from one another, okay? Remember this. As in Mr. Krabs' video in Cracked Crabs, look, the pathway to the Chum Bucket is missing. I mean, they got the Chum Bucket right, which is good, but I'm doing a side-by-side, and this path right here is missing right here in Cracked Crabs, making for honestly like a really weird mistake. But guys, do you know what time it is? It's time for another random mistake, where you guys know what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna repeat myself. Let's talk about mistakes in another cartoon quickly, and then we'll head back over to SpongeBob. More SpongeBob mistakes are coming. For the record, I know a lot of you guys like random mistake, but I always say that to remind the SpongeBob fans that something is coming. I know a lot of you guys enjoy it, so. Anyways, we're gonna do Gravity Falls again. I know how badly you guys wanted Gravity Falls for so long, so let's do it again. We're gonna do the episode Carpet Diem. I totally mispronounced that. But anyways, this character right here is Candy, and you need to pay attention to her in this next scene, more specifically what she's holding. All right, let's catch this mistake together. Roll that footage.
So how much do you like boys?
So much!
Boys make me think about kissing.
Candy! Oh my gosh!
Oh!
Random, but it is so cool that we get to cover like random mistakes like this now, guys. Like, it's so much fun for me. Like, I'm gonna continue on with the video. I'm at home right now. I'm like out of character Corey right now. I'm not cartoon Corey. And I really appreciate you guys supporting the random mistakes. It makes this so much fun. But anyways, back to cartoon Corey. So, as you guys just saw, the pillow that Grenda throws at Candy at the first slumber party is pink, okay? Remember this, it's pink. Before she picks it up, it's pink. As eventually, when she does pick it up, that exact same pillow randomly turns green. Because we literally see Grenda throw it at Candy, we know it's the same pillow. I know some of you might be thinking like maybe it's a different pillow, but no, it's the same pillow. And I've got another mistake from this episode. Roll the footage.
No, you should! Give it to Mabel! You big jerk!
What did you say to me?
I said, shut up, old man!
Okay, so this dude right here is Stan, okay? I say it like this for people who haven't seen the show before, but remember, this is Stan. Now, eventually, he says the line, "What did you say to me?" And if we watch closely, as he says this, his entire mouth just disappears for a split second. It comes back after like half of a second, but it's still missing during this scene, dude, and it's so weird. Like, look at this dude without a mouth. Definitely a bit of an animation glitch. It's not like they forgot to draw his mouth, but anyways, back to SpongeBob.
Litter really bugged me. Litter. Aha!
See, I told ya, we're back to SpongeBob, and the episode is Keep Bikini Bottom Beautiful, which is all about Squidward needing to do exactly that. He needs to keep Bikini Bottom beautiful. Okay, so I've got one spicy mistake in Keep Bikini Bottom Beautiful. Roll the footage. Okay, so as you guys just seen, Squidward is in bed, okay? And you can see that he's wearing this pink nightcap right here. Remember this, okay? He's wearing his pajamas, his jams. Now, there's a brief shot where Squidward opens his eyes after smelling his trash blanket. That thing looks disgusting. When this happens though, we can see that his pink nightcap is missing, despite the fact that he was wearing it seconds before, and the fact that he's wearing it after this. So he's wearing the nightcap, then seconds later he isn't, and then seconds later he's wearing it again? I guess he could have taken it off, but I mean, come on guys, this is definitely a mistake.
That looks like Squidward.
The season 16 episode, Go Fetch, is an interesting one, as it's 3D animated. And to be totally honest with you guys, it's very hard to find traditional animation errors or mistakes in 3D animation. Because everything's modeled, it's just rare that they make mistakes. But I did find one. It's a continuity error. I'm gonna play the clip and let's see if you guys can spot it, okay? Here's a hint. Pay attention to Gary's ball. You guys probably caught it. This is a light one, and don't worry, there's crazier mistakes coming up. But as you guys can see, at first during this scene, Gary's ball is right here. alright? It's here. However, after SpongeBob lands on the UFO, the ball just magically disappears for a second. As you can see, it's missing from this spot right here, and as you can see in this side-by-side, it should be there. It does come back after this, but it missing during this scene is technically a continuity mistake. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to point it out, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. I'm kind of cheating with this next episode, as it's actually a The Patrick Star Show episode, but it's a really good mistake, okay? The episode is Day of the Living Dad Jokes, and it's from the show's 3rd season. It's actually crazy to think that there's been 4 seasons now of The Patrick Star Show. I remember when this show first debuted and people hated it, but I feel like the show's gotten a lot better. I mean, I say that, but I'm about to expose a mistake. But anyways, roll the clip and let's see if you guys can spot this mistake. I doubt it, but I'll come back and I'll explain it.
Oh no! We've run right into a giant dad bowl!
Okay, so let me explain, alright? If we rewind back to the SpongeBob episode, The Sewers of Bikini Bottom, we were introduced to the Krusty Krab Stadium. This thing was literally built in the sewers of Bikini Bottom. Like, not in the sewers, but in the episode. Or I guess it was established in this episode. And it did not exist before this episode. And here's the issue, okay? This The Patrick Star Show episode takes place before SpongeBob. It's like a prequel series. However, the Krusty Krab Stadium appears in this episode. So canonically, this is a mistake. This was like an error here. It shouldn't appear in this Patrick Star episode as it didn't exist yet. But yeah, a quick one for you guys, and let's keep it moving to another episode with more mistakes. And stay tuned, guys. I'm saving some of the craziest mistakes for closer to the end of the video. Okay, this next mistake is really funny. It takes place in season 16's SpongeBob and Patrick's timeline twist up. And what's funny is it's also technically an Easter egg at the same time, as it refers back to the episode Ripped Pants. The episode where, you know, SpongeBob rips his pants. Now here's a fun fact for you guys about that episode, Ripped Pants, that also explains the mistake I'm going to show you guys. And that's that Patrick does not appear in that episode at all. Alright, remember that. Now I'm gonna roll the clip with the mistake in it from SpongeBob and Patrick's timeline twist up, and let's see if you guys can spot the mistake. Roll the footage.
You'll definitely remember when I ripped my pants.
You sure you remember it? Cause that looks like my dad ripped your pants.
Alright, did you guys catch it? I guess SpongeBob could have forgotten about this, but Patrick never appeared in the episode Ripped Pants. So why is he asking Patrick if he remembers if this happened? What I think happened here is the writer that wrote this episode kind of forgot about this detail. They were trying to do an Easter egg here, so the intentions were good, but I don't think they went back and actually did their homework and checked to see if Patrick was in that episode. So yeah, a little mistake here, and it's really funny. Let's talk about a season 2 episode next. How about the episode Squid's Day Off? We're gonna get right into it. Here's the first mistake from this episode, and let's see if you guys can spot it.
Okay, Mr. Krabs. And if things don't seem right, come back.
Thanks, Doc.
You can't beat me!
Did you guys catch it? No? Well, here's a little hint, alright? It has to do with the sign on the hospital, alright? I'm zooming in. Did you guys catch it yet? Yeah, they completely misspelled emergency, with them spelling it as E-N-E-E-R-E-N-C-Y. This is a really, really bad mistake. It's not like they got one letter wrong. Like, they completely butchered the spelling of the entire word, but I can actually tell you guys why. Back during this season, SpongeBob episodes were animated in Korea by Rough Draft Korea. So it was probably a language situation where whoever like did the animation here didn't know how to spell the word in English. Mistakes happen. Anyways though, here's mistake number 2.
I caught you now! You didn't think I knew you were a stick outside my window!
You need the eyes of an eagle to catch this one. But when Squidward eventually makes it to the Krusty Krab for the final time, the road and sand outside switch colors just as he barges through the door. I'm showing it right here to make it clear it only happens right as he goes through the door. Before this, it looks like this, which is how it's supposed to look. But I'm showing it in slow motion, and yeah, that's the wrong color. And we've got more, guys. Let's head over to our next episode, and stay tuned, guys, because I'm saving the spiciest mistake for the ending of the video. We've got some cool ones on the way and random mistake of the day, so yeah, let's keep it moving.
Don't I got a say in this? I'll see you later, SpongeBob.
So long.
Dude, who remembers Bubble Buddy? I loved this episode as a kid. Dude is such an iconic character, Bubble Buddy. Fun fact, he actually reappears in later seasons, just saying. But we're not here for Easter eggs. We have videos on that, by the way. We're here for mistakes, and Bubble Buddy from season 2 has a couple mistakes, so roll the footage.
Oh no, Squidward, wait! There's cheese on these patties!
And?
Bubble Buddy's lactose intolerant.
Yeah, so this first one is just like, I don't know how we even caught it, but in the clips you guys just saw when SpongeBob tells Squidward that Bubble Buddy is lactose intolerant, part of his like top right corner detaches from his body. We're zooming in, it's right here and circling it. And this one's just like a really weird mistake. It's a nitpick, who cares? No one would ever notice this while watching the episode, but it is a mistake, and here's another one from the same episode.
That bubble's gotta go.
It's time to end it.
No, I won't let you. Here we go!
So this one's interesting. Let's take a look at Squidward over here. We'll look at this footage from the episode Culture Shock, and you'll notice Squidward has 6 limbs, all right? He has 4 legs and 2 arms. And this is canonical, all right? It's been like this since the beginning of SpongeBob lore. But in this episode, when SpongeBob inflates Bubble Buddy to escape the angry crowd that want to kill Bubble Buddy, look, Squidward is just randomly drawn with a 5th leg. When, as I just mentioned, like, he's supposed to have 4 legs, so they just randomly drew an extra one, and that is a mistake. I'm sure Squidward isn't complaining. Having an extra limb is probably very nice, but I don't know how Nickelodeon feels about that one.
Keep your eyes open. You never know what trick he'll use to steal me secret Krabby Patty formula.
We've been doing a lot of season 2 and 3 episodes in this video, so let's just keep it going. Here's another one, Plankton's Army. Some season 3 goodness. I love this episode. Let's get into the first mistake though. Let's see if you guys can catch it. I want you to comment the mistake if you find it before I say it. All right, let's do it.
Today is the 25th anniversary of the first time Plankton tried to steal me secret Krabby Patty formula. Welcome! You and what army, Bug?
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Mr. Krabs says today is the 25th anniversary of the first time Plankton's ever tried to finesse him, he doesn't say that exactly, but you get the idea. The door to Mr. Krabs' office can be seen. It's shown right here, all right? And this is accurate. Mr. Krabs has always had his office door right here. However, though, when this robot shows up, the door is just magically gone. Like, it's just not drawn in this one shot right here, which is really weird and lazy. But to make things funny, when Mr. Krabs and Squidward eventually walk outside, look, the door is back. So it was there, then it's gone, and then it's back again. Hey, mistakes happen. At least we can get a laugh out of it, right, guys? Well, we're definitely gonna get a laugh out of this next episode's mistakes because boy, oh boy, is it rough. Let's keep it rolling.
There was a saucy superhero with a pugnacious posterior, and they called him Bubble Bass.
Stop thief!
Some of my favorite SpongeBob episodes, like my top 10 favorite episodes, are these specials. They're way different than regular episodes because they're longer and they usually have like way more plot. But of course, just like regular episodes, they also have mistakes. And the episode Swamp Mates is no exception. I'm breaking that season 2 and 3 streak right now. This is a more modern episode of SpongeBob. But hey, season 12 is still good. But anyways, this episode Swamp Mates has a mistake. Roll the footage.
Our only escape!
You guys may have caught it, but when Bubble Bass says our only escape, look, his eyes are the same color as his glasses. Normally, Bubble Bass has like regularly white eyes, and even when he's wearing his glasses, when you look through them, his eyes are still white. But yeah, in this one shot, it's just all the same color, and it's not that big of a deal, but it looks really weird. Don't worry though, guys, the mistakes coming up are a lot worse than this one. So, let's keep it moving. All right, we're heading back over to season 2 and 3, which makes me a very, very happy boy. You guys know I love those seasons. The episode is Jellyfish Jam, and I love this episode. SpongeBob ends up befriending one jellyfish, and look at what happens. We're gonna get right into the mistakes, but look at what ends up happening by the ending of the episode.
Would it be possible to play your clarinet better? Okay, he said he'll play better.
So as you guys know, SpongeBob's living room is on the bottom floor of his house, all right? We know this. This is just a fact. Now, in this episode, in the clips you guys just saw, we have that moment where Squidward is playing his clarinet. It's not so good, and SpongeBob tells him to play his clarinet better. Savage. SpongeBob, you are a savage. Now, as you can see, SpongeBob is in his living room, but when he pokes his head out to talk to Squidward, he appears to be in a window that belongs to the second floor. But then when he goes out of the window, he's back in his living room again, which should be on the first first floor, so this is totally a mistake here. How did SpongeBob go all the way up here if he was in his living room? That's not where his living room is. Up there is where his bedroom is. Like, look at some of these clips you can see right here. This window is always where SpongeBob's bedroom is. I'm definitely overthinking this. This is like a typical case of cartoon logic. It is a cartoon after all, but still technically a mistake. And don't worry, guys, this next one is a lot worse. F is for friends that do stuff together. U is for you and me. I love this episode. Fun. I can't believe I just sung for you guys, but such a good episode. Before we get into it though, here are some fun clips from this episode. It's a really good episode. And then we're getting right to the mistakes. And guys, trust me, there are really bad mistakes in this episode.
We frolicked through the flowers.
Look at yourself.
What? No, not really. Being evil is too much fun.
Okay, it's time for mistakes. It's what you guys clicked on the video for after all. There are a bunch in this episode, but we're gonna focus on one because it's really, 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 really bad. Roll the footage.
Okay, I see it. It's a Krabby Patty, okay? I couldn't help it.
So as you guys saw at the very end of the episode, Plankton's plan is exposed, all right? Now, in the clip where he reveals that he took the Krabby Patty, if we look at his bottom legs, all right, we're gonna have to adjust the positioning of the footage, and we're gonna zoom in at the very bottom because we need to see the bottom of the frame, and we're gonna play it in slow motion, and you'll notice that Plankton's legs just keep on disappearing and reappearing. It's really weird. Now, this right here is an animation glitch. This is like a bad one where you can tell during like the rendering process, something messed up, dude, because his legs just keep on flickering in and out, and it just looks very, very strange. Okay, we're heading back over to season 12. The episode is in security guards, and pretty much SpongeBob and Patrick volunteer as guards at the museum. And I will say they're not the best at it. Here's a little compilation of them just not being the best guards at a museum. And then we're gonna get right into the mistakes.
There was the prehistorical period.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not hiring SpongeBob or Patrick if I need a guard. I also don't know if I'm gonna hire the animators of this episode because they made a massive mistake. Roll the clip.
Whoa! You worst!
You guys may have caught it, especially because I will admit, I think we've covered this one in the past. I could be wrong though. But throughout this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick wear this. What's really important here is Patrick. Look at him in his fresh little security guard outfit, my boy. Now, throughout this whole episode, this is what Patrick is wearing while at the museum, all right? Especially during this scene, just before they get swallowed and spit out by a woolly mollusk. Now, if you look closely, when they first arrive at the woolly mollusk, they're wearing their security guard outfits, then they get put in his mouth and spit out. But when they're spit out, look, Patrick is randomly back in his regular clothes. And then when they land, he's back in his security guard outfit. So you can see the animators made a mistake. During the animation of them being spit out of the woolly mollusk, they forgot to draw Patrick in his security guard outfit, making for a really bad mistake. It's pretty interesting, but you know what's also interesting? The random mistake of the day. That's right, it's time for the random mistake of the day, where we talk about a random cartoon suggested by you guys and talk about mistakes in that cartoon, and then we'll go right back to SpongeBob. Today we're gonna do another Nickelodeon classic, Hey Arnold. And to all of our younger viewers, don't worry, we're gonna go back to SpongeBob, but this was a massive Nickelodeon Nicktoon show, and the mistake itself is like really, really bad. It's worse than any of the SpongeBob mistakes we covered today. The episode is Eugene's bike, and let's see if you guys can spot it. And here's a hint, it has to do with this character right here named Stinky. All right, I'm showing a PNG of him so you guys know how he looks. You wanna pay attention to him, and roll the clip.
Okay, but you don't know what you're missing. Look, you guys, I got a new scab. If you squint real hard, it looks like Texas.
It happens right at the beginning of the episode, but when we see Stinky standing with Joey in park, look, for about a couple of frames, his entire right hand is just missing. Like, these dudes just did not draw his hand at all. Like, I'm zooming in, no hand there. And again, it isn't for like a couple of seconds, like it's like this for a while. So yeah, massive mistake, and let's get back to SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, is that you?
Who are you expecting? Tiny Tim?
Dude, you're ripped.
Thank you.
Yeah, this episode is iconic. I'm talking about Muscle Bob Buff Pants. You guys know Cartoon Corey loves season 1, that Steven Hillenburg era. Here's the thing though, guys, even an episode as good as this one has a mistake. Roll the footage.
Bird.
SpongeBob?
Ahoy, Mr. Krabs.
Mother of pearl!
This one's pretty straightforward. Hopefully you guys caught it. If not though, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. But while Mr. Krabs is sweeping in front of the Krusty Krab, our boy has a coloring error, as look at his sleeve, it's red. Normally Mr. Krabs looks like this and his sleeves are white, as you guys know. So this right here is totally a mistake. Like, Mr. Krabs, what's going on, man? Okay, to be fair, I'm zooming in and as you can see, only half of it's actually red. The other half is the color it's supposed to be, but this is still an error. And we've got more. Here's another one from Bob Buff Pants.
Your secret workout? What is it?
First, I take my hand and I do this.
Are you kidding?
Now, this one isn't as simple as that last one, so you guys need to listen very closely, but when SpongeBob reveals his secret workout to the others, we can see Larry the Lobster in Incidental 24 right here, and behind them is Incidental 24Q. Remember this, okay? It's the three of them with Incidental 24Q behind them, and here's a PNG of Incidental 24Q. I want you guys to really see how this character looks. As, like, seconds later, guys, in the same scene, Incidental 24Q gets replaced by a completely different other background fish, being Incidental 24B. Now this on its own is a mistake because it happens in a matter of seconds. The fish behind them wouldn't transform into an entirely different fish. But there's another mistake here, as take a look at Incidental 24B's actual design. Look at this PNG of him. He's this color, alright? He looks like this. But in this episode, when he randomly replaces Incidental 24Q, he's colored incorrectly. As a matter of fact, he's colored the same color palette as Incidental 24Q. So just wow. Man, 2 mistakes in one scene. Crazy. But let's head over to another episode of SpongeBob, guys, with even more wild mistakes. Nature Pants is a really good episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob decides to live with the jellyfish. Like, he literally moves out of his pineapple home and lives in jellyfish fields. Our man becomes homeless by choice. Now I've got 2 mistakes for you guys in this episode, and they're really, really bad. Here's the first one, and guys, I want to see if you can spot it before I reveal it. So comment it if you figure it out before I reveal the actual mistake. All right, here's the clip.
Friends, and I gave all of that up.
Welcome home, SpongeBob!
You guys are the...
It's at the ending of the episode, but when SpongeBob finally comes home and they're celebrating for about 1 frame, look, Patrick is missing his whole mouth. Like, how do you forget to draw somebody's mouth? Especially a hungry boy like Patrick who's always eating. Like, give that boy his mouth back. Just a really bad mistake, guys. And here's mistake number 2 from the same episode.
Here, Patrick, have a Krabby Patty. There he is, Patrick. Say you're live.
Why, thank you, Sandy.
So let's take a look at Sandy Cheeks over here, all right? And one thing we'll notice is that her neck is brown. It's the same color as like her brown fur. Like, look at the color of her fur right here. I'm arrowing it. That is the color that her neck always is, as you can see in these images. But when Sandy says, there he is, Patrick, if we look, her neck is actually the same color as her cheeks, which is a major mistake. It's supposed to be the brown color. It makes sense. Next up, we're gonna do the episode Band Geeks. Let's dive into this episode's first mistake. Roll the footage.
People! Is mayonnaise an instrument? Kicking? Oh, I want to do some kicking!
Did you guys catch it? If not, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So throughout the scene where Squidward is trying to rally all of the different Bikini Bottomites together to join his band and teach them, a lot of the characters will actually switch positions throughout the scene. For example, when everybody in the room is talking, SpongeBob and Patrick can be seen sitting beside each other right here. Look at them, they're such good friends. However, when Patrick says his iconic line asking if mayonnaise is an instrument, he's now randomly sitting next to Sandy. But then when he says kicking, I want to do some kicking, he's now suddenly back beside Sandy again. So yeah, he just switches back and forth, which is totally a mistake. You can see the animators drew him beside SpongeBob, then forgot and drew him beside Sandy. Hey, 2D animation's hard, so I'll give them a break, but actually no. Let's expose another mistake from this episode. Roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can catch this one without me revealing it first. Let me know what you think the mistake is in the comments before I actually show it. All right, roll the footage.
When your little Jimmy was trapped in a fire, who rescued him?
A fireman?
And discover what it truly means to be in a band.
Yeah! Come on, I know you guys caught that one. It's pretty straightforward. But if you watch closely in the clips I just played, a part of Pearl's skirt, this skirt right here, is gone when SpongeBob talks to Evelyn and Larry. But don't worry, it ends up reappearing in the next scene. But then it actually disappears again, so messy mistake here. And that's gonna be a theme in today's video, guys. We got a lot of messy mistakes. I'm saving the worst ones for the end, and we also have the random mistake of the day coming up. But for now, let's talk about more mistakes in another episode. or actually, let's talk about Bluey. More specifically, the episode Zoo. For context, this character right here is Bingo, and the mistake has to do with this character's bed. All right, you guys got it? Roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can catch the mistake.
You gotta visit up.
Nighty-night, my little snowdrop.
She
Okay, so this one's definitely going to need some explaining, especially if some of you haven't seen this show before. So, this right here is Bingo's bed. It looks very, very comfy. And in this episode in particular, specifically when she goes to see the blue baboon at the ending of the episode, you'll notice that there's an uppercase B on the bed, okay? And remember, it's an uppercase B. But this is a problem. This is the mistake, as in literally every other episode of Bluey, look, it's a lowercase b. Here's another shot from another episode, it's a lowercase b. So it being an uppercase b in this one shot is totally a mistake, especially because since this episode, there's never been an instance where it's been an uppercase B. So yeah, I'm overthinking this one. You guys get it. So let's head back over to another show and talk about more mistakes. And guys, this is where things are going to get wild. Next up, we have the SpongeBob season 14 episode, Don't Make Me Laugh. And just saying, I'm very proud of myself because this episode only came out like a couple days ago, and we already found some mistakes. Now, this episode is all about SpongeBob not being able to stop laughing, and because of this, there are some like really dark moments, to be honest, where SpongeBob laughs at somebody and you can see it makes them sad. I'm gonna get into the mistakes, but I want you guys to see some of these clips. And then of course, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but yeah, take a look at this.
You're crying over spilt milk. There's nothing funny about your face.
Don't listen to him. You're beautiful.
You look fantastic. Oh, I look fantastic, huh?
I mean, it isn't SpongeBob's fault. He literally can't stop laughing, but like poor Squidward, you can tell he broke his heart. But anyways, my heart was broken when I found these mistakes in this episode, so roll the footage.
The sticky floors make me feel grounded.
I can't wait for you to see this movie, SpongeBob. It's the funniest thing I've...
Did you guys catch it? It happens at the very beginning of the episode. As you guys just saw, SpongeBob and Patrick arrive at the theater. And when they first enter in the zoomed out shot, we can see these posters on the left side of the wall. As you can see, one is green, all right, and the other one is purple. Remember this, and remember their positions, all right? Remember where they are and how they're aligned with this desk right here, the snacks desk. As like literally a second later, when Patrick and SpongeBob start walking in, they have completely changed, with there being a yellow one, a blue one, and a like orange one. And remember, they were not like that before. I'm showing a side-by-side, they completely changed. It's a minor background detail, right? Like it doesn't ruin the episode, but it's still a mistake, and get wrecked, Nickelodeon, I found it. And let's head over to another episode of SpongeBob.
Sure, all 486 of them. Future!
If you're a fan of old school SpongeBob, then you'll definitely love this season 1 episode, SB129, where Squidward gets like trapped in a freezer and ends up like traveling through time. It's an epic episode, to be honest. But even an epic episode like this has mistakes. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help first. Comment the mistake before I reveal it. I know you guys can do it. Roll the clip.
He's not here. No more SpongeBob. No more.
Okay, yeah, so this one is incredibly easy to miss. It took me a couple times of watching it to actually catch it. But when Squidward says no more in the scene you guys just saw, the outline of his head seems to clip through his mouth. It's very subtle, but this is a bad mistake in terms of animation. Clipping means that it's kind of like breaking through his mouth and just, yeah, looks very weird. Now, that one is more of like an animation error, but this next one is more of a plot hole, all right? Roll the footage.
Squidward!
2,000 years later.
So as most of you guys know, and I mentioned earlier, a big plot point of this episode is that Squidward ends up freezing himself in this freezer, and then like years pass, with him eventually waking up in the future. But this is like a massive plot hole. How is Squidward unnoticed by everyone in town, including the people that work at the Krusty Krab, while he was frozen? I mean, even look in the freezer, his face is visible from the freezer window. So the possibility of someone encountering him in the countless years that have passed is like very high, especially Mr. Krabs or SpongeBob, who would be like, where's Squidward? Especially SpongeBob. Like, if you really think about SpongeBob's character, dude would have set off on an entire quest if Squidward went missing. It would be like the plot of a SpongeBob movie. So yeah, mistake. I still love SB129. It's an amazing episode, but yeah, totally a mistake. Our next episode is Cephalopod Lodge, and this episode is all about Squidward finding like this club of other squids, or well, cephalopods, that he can hang out with, but it's all in secrecy. That is until SpongeBob and Patrick find out. Here's some funny clips from this episode, and then we're gonna get to the mistakes. And boy, oh boy, are they rough.
These camouflage outfits should help us find out what Squidward's secret is.
Were you dropped on your head when you were a baby?
How did you know?
Psychic powers.
Yeah, this episode's really, really good. The jokes are actually funny, and it's cool seeing all of these different, like, cephalopods. But yeah, let's talk about mistakes. Here's the first one.
Squidward. Roger, is that you?
Tonight's the big night.
Hello, Brother Roger.
Come right in, Brother Squidward.
So this character right here is Roger. He's like a big person that runs the Cephalopod Lodge, this club that Squidward wants to be in. But like I said, it's a secret. So in the beginning of the episode, when Roger is talking to Squidward and the Krusty Krab, and he's all hidden, if we look closely, we can see that his skin is green, all right? He's green. Remember this, that is a green Roger. However, though, later on, when Squidward eventually goes to the Cephalopod Lodge and we see Roger again and he isn't in disguise, he is now randomly blue. And I want to make it clear, it's not like he changed like his skin color. This was 100% a mistake. Him like wearing clothes to hide his identity is one thing, but he didn't literally change the color of his skin from green to blue just to like hide his identity. So totally a mistake here.
And furthermore, I will carry out my crime and punishment, punishment and crime, and the hall. Which reminds me of an extremely long speech written by the greatest hall monitor of all time.
For this next one, we're going back in time to the good old days of SpongeBob with Hall Monitor. This is a fan favorite of an episode where Mrs. Puff makes SpongeBob Hall Monitor for the week, but SpongeBob takes it way too seriously, fam, and starts going around thinking he's like a real cop. I'm gonna show some funny clips from this episode first, but then we're gonna get into two spicy mistakes.
I'm the open window maniac! Patrick! Patrick! Patrick!
My ice cream! It's alive! The maniac's in the mailbox!
I love this episode, dude. And as a matter of fact, Grapple Gang, after I'm done making this video, I'm literally going to go and watch the episode. And you should too after you're done watching this video, of course. But here's the first mistake. Let's take a look at this.
Poor rookie. All right, I'm on my way back.
Hurry, SpongeBob! I think it's getting dark.
Just put on your siren, I'll be right there.
This one happens really fast, guys, and I had to rewatch the scene multiple times to even catch it, but during this scene where Patrick says it is getting dark, if we look, some of these buildings right here move slightly to the right. Here's a side-by-side where you can see before and after, and just, yeah, they slightly just move randomly. Very weird, and here's another mistake from this episode that's just as weird, if not worse.
Afternoon, son.
Hello, brothers.
Son, we're looking for the maniac.
Like I said, this one is way, way, way worse. So, when the police officers arrive and ask Patrick about the maniac, and they just like make fun of him about it, it's really funny, there is a massive mistake with Officer John Slugfish over here, specifically his eyes. As you can see, he is an orange fish, but during this one shot right here, the animators made a mistake and gave him the same like eyelids as the other police officer. So he's orange, but if you look, his eyelids are green, which is totally a mistake. His eyelids should be orange. As a matter of fact, here's a quick shot from earlier on in this scene, and his eyelids are orange, but in this one shot, they're green, which is a massive mistake, dude. Like a really bad mistake too. Not as bad as this next one though, guys. Let's head over to another episode. Our next mistake can be found in another extremely new episode from season 13, titled Patrick the Mailman. This episode is simple. Patrick accidentally crushes the mailman, so he and SpongeBob have to take matters into their own hands and decide to deliver the mail around Bikini Bottom themselves. This episode has a great plot and is really funny, so I recommend going and watching it when you get a chance. But there is a mistake that I know you'll miss. Squidward's house is directly to the left of SpongeBob's house, right? It's been like that since the very first season. Well, why is it missing during this scene of Patrick the Mailman? Yeah, talk about an obvious mistake. It should be right beside SpongeBob's house. We can't even see Patrick's house either, so again, another very obvious mistake. Here's a clip.
You know where this Pooperpants lives?
Never heard of him.
Oh well, return to sender.
Hey, what's with the new threads?
I'm a mailman now!
Wow! I've always wanted to be a mailman. It's like getting to be Santa every day.
In the episode Arg, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs play a board game based on the legend of the Flying Dutchman, which involves an in-game treasure hunt. Well, Mr. Krabs takes things a little too seriously and decides to go on a real treasure hunt. And during the expedition, SpongeBob and Patrick actually find the treasure, despite it not seeming to be real, but Mr. Krabs says that all of the treasure belongs to him, due to him being a cheapskate. As you can imagine, this causes some conflict, but fortunately by the end of the episode, the Flying Dutchman comes to save the day, and gives SpongeBob and Patrick some golden doubloons. It's very funny. On to the mistake though. During this scene where SpongeBob finds Mr. Krabs at his house, it may look as if Mr. Krabs is sitting on the chair, but like look closely and you'll notice that he's actually just floating behind it. We know this as you can see his other red leg behind the chair. Like take a look at his legs. It's a really funny mistake. Here's a clip with audio.
Sam!
Next up, we have the episode Big Sister Sam, where we're introduced to Patrick's not so pretty or cute sister. Like, this girl is angry, dude. But anyways, we're here for mistakes, and this episode has quite a few. Here's the first one.
Make new house spiffy. More spiffy. Come on, sis. They can't bother us under our rock.
Did you guys catch that? It has to do with the doorknob on Squidward's house, alright? So, when Sam spiffs up the house, she adds the front door from Squidward's house, alright? You can see it right here. And at first, when we see it, the doorknob is on the right. Remember this, alright? The doorknob's on the right. However, though, in a few scenes later, it's now magically on the left. Here's a side-by-side. At first, it was on the right, and now randomly, it is on the left. What a weird mistake, and here's another one.
Have much get to do. Wow, I cleaned my rock just for you. Hey, let's go inside and play.
So this one's weird, it needs some explaining, alright? So, when Sam throws her brother Patrick, poor Patrick, dude, like she really throws him, and he lands on his rock, if we look, Patrick's rock is to the right of the screen, alright? It's right here on the right side. Now the problem is seconds later, when Sam goes over to Patrick's rock, they travel to the left side of the screen, when we literally just seen that the rock is on the right side. So technically a mistake. This one's kinda weird. There's gonna be a lot crazier mistakes coming up, guys, that are actually really bad, so let's keep it moving.
And what's up with that squirrel fur? I guess fleas need a home too, huh?
Squirrel fur!
This next one is going to be a ton of fun, especially for all of the old people watching this, as we're gonna go back to Squirrel Jokes, a season 2 episode, and boy, oh boy, is this one a banger. Like seriously, this episode's so good. I hate to break it to you guys, I'm gonna have to ruin some childhoods as this one has a mistake. It actually has 3, so let's dive right in. Here's the first one.
Hey, look, guys! It's the stupid squirrel! I know, let's try and communicate with it. Duh.
We're gonna start light, okay? This first one is bad in squirrel jokes, but the other two in this one are really, really bad. Like, animators got fired because of this episode. Anyways, though, the first one, when Sandy's in the grocery store and three fish start making fun of her, these guys are bullies. Let's take a look at Lloyd over here and watch him in slow motion, as his lips flicker orange for one frame. Normally his lips look like this. This is the color of his lips, but in this one frame, their lips are like orange, which is incorrect. Your lips don't just randomly change color, guys. Here's a before and after, totally a mistake. Like I said though, we're starting light. Let's head over to the next mistake in squirrel jokes, which is really, really bad.
That's true. Crabs? Oh, brother. They're so cheap, they can't even pay attention.
It's true! I am cheap!
Yeah, so when SpongeBob talks about Mr. Krabs in his stand-up during the talent show, if we head over to Mr. Krabs and we freeze at the right frame, our favorite crab over here has no legs. Like, the animators actually drew Mr. Krabs in this shot, in this scene, with no legs. To be fair, this is a season 2 episode, so it's like over 20 years old, but damn, like, no legs is a really bad mess up, guys. Like, I told you this one was bad, I wasn't lying. And there's another one that's also pretty rough in squirrel jokes. Take a look at this mistake.
But seriously, folks, I want to give a special thanks to my friend Sandy.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when the spotlight is put on Sandy after SpongeBob says, I want to give a special thanks to my friend Sandy, let's take a look at Incidental 11 over here, as his fin, well, part of his fin is missing. Normally, Incidental 11 looks like this. Here's an image of him from the SpongeBob wiki, and as you can see, this is how his fin looks. But in this one scene from Squirrel Jokes, like a piece or part of his fin is missing right here. I'm zooming in, and it's not that big of a deal, but if you're a big SpongeBob fan, it is totally a mistake. And let's keep it moving to another episode, guys, with an even crazier mistake, and I'm serious, this one's rough. Plankton is always looking for excuses or reasons for his constant failures, and the episode Plankton's Good Eye from Season 8 is no exception, with his wife Karen convincing Plankton that the reason he keeps on failing is due to him only having one eye. Not a bad point, Karen, but I don't know, I don't think that's the issue. Anyways though, from here, Plankton attempts surgery to get a second eye, but quickly realizes that he will need the teardrops from someone with two eyes for it to be successful. And from here, Plankton tries to convince SpongeBob to help him. Yeah, so the plot in this episode is a little all over the place, but it isn't bad. I did find a mistake though. When Plankton tries to open Mr. Krabs' safe, he tries to pull it open from the wrong side. So even if he knew the combination, he could not have gotten it open anyways. We know this because seconds prior, we see Mr. Krabs open it from the correct side. So yeah, here's a clip.
Sleep tight, me little angels.
$35 left, 25 right, and finally, 4 left. Open says me! Hey, what gives? I was looking right at the combination. Why isn't it opening?
When Mr. Krabs begins to think that he's overpaying SpongeBob, paying him too much money in the episode SpongeBob You're Fired, SpongeBob, well, you guessed it, gets fired. Fortunately, he ends up finding a new job at Weenie Hut, a hot dog establishment. At first, things are pretty darn rough for SpongeBob, with him even being fired at his new job. But don't worry. In the end, SpongeBob goes back to where he belongs, the Krusty Krab. Now, I hate to be that guy, but at one point of the episode, SpongeBob claims to not know what a hot dog is. However, this is a blatant writing error, as if we go back to the Season 1 episode Walking Small, SpongeBob literally steals hot dogs from Bikini Bottom residents, and even eats them. So yeah, this was some poor continuity. Here's both clips.
There's something not quite right about this food, but I'm not sure what it is. Aha! Well, not all of me. Hot dogs! Hot dogs!
Look at that huge line at the hot dog stand.
I'll do better than that. Let's go home.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Patrick, the lid's already off.
Oh, now it's my turn.
I say this all the time, but the best episodes of SpongeBob are from seasons 1, 2, and 3. So I'm stoked to be talking about Wet Painters, a season 3 banger of an episode. You know what's coming though, guys. It's time for that childhood to be ruined. Here's the first mistake from this episode.
And 2 of you are to paint the inside of me house. So if I see even one drop on anything but wall, so have fun with the job.
Did you guys catch it? Well, listen closely as this one's a little complicated. So when Mr. Krabs brings SpongeBob and Patrick over for the first time, and he reveals his big plan for them to paint his house, we can see him open his door. And first things first, as you can see, there is no doorknob on this door, which is fine. But more importantly though, if we look at how the door opens and closes, it opens to the left to the inside of Mr. Krabs' house, okay? Remember this? It opens to the left to the inside of his house. Well, here's the problem. As this scene progresses, we get this shot right here where SpongeBob and Patrick are backing up, and look, there's a doorknob now. In the original shot I mentioned, there's no doorknob, but now there is. And then once we see SpongeBob and Patrick go in the house during this shot shortly after, the door now opens to the right to the outside of Mr. Krabs' house. Here's a side-by-side of how the door opened before and how it opens now. Right there you can see a massive mistake, and as I said, there's like a door handle or doorknob now when that wasn't there in the original shot. So a funny little continuity error here in this episode, and here's another mistake from this same episode.
Oh, now I see it.
Did it work?
No.
Did it work?
No.
Did it work?
No.
Did you guys catch it? This one's pretty quick and pretty simple, but if you really think about it, how did paint get smeared on both sides of the dollar? Here's the scene where the paint actually gets on the dollar, and then it's faced up towards the wall, so like how would it get on both sides? Yeah, I'm overthinking this one, but technically a mistake if you think about it. But guys, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode of SpongeBob, and trust me, you won't want to miss these mistakes. This is where things get wild.
Let's have that tea now. Hi!
Pinky! Pinky!
Next up, we've got a classic tea at the Tree Dome from season 1. Now there's 2 mistakes I really want to get into, so let's do that. Here's the first one, roll the footage.
Where have I seen this before? Here it is. Land squirrel. That little squirrel is in trouble.
Take that, you sorry old clam!
So as all of you guys know, SpongeBob's square pants is a big part of his design. And as you can see, here's a quick PNG of SpongeBob. His belt goes all the way across his pants, right? Remember this. Because early on in the episode Tea at the Tree Dome, during this scene, when SpongeBob says that little squirrel is in trouble, look, let's take a look at the left part of our favorite Sponge's pants, as the left part of his belt is missing. They just forgot to draw it during this one shot, which is pretty funny. That ain't it for this episode though. Here's another mistake from the same episode.
I like you, SpongeBob. Well, we could be tighter than bark on a tree. Hi!
I like you too, Sandy. Say, what is that thing on your head?
Well, that's my air helmet.
May I try it on?
Heck no, I need it to breathe. I gotta have my air.
Me too. I love air. Air is good.
No kid.
Why, air's my middle name. The more air, the better.
Did you guys catch it? Yeah, so let me explain. Take a look at this shot of Sandy Cheeks. This is how she normally looks. This is how she always looks. And as you can see, normally her neck is brown. It's like the same color that we can see on top of her head. It's the color of her fur. But during this one scene in Tea at the Tree Dome, when Sandy says no kidding, dude, what is going on? As her neck is white instead of like brown, when literally in like every other appearance of Sandy throughout the entire series, her neck is brown. So I'm definitely over-analyzing this, that's what I do, but totally a mistake here. Anyways though, let's head over to another episode of SpongeBob with even crazier mistakes.
What the? The chum bucket open 23 hours! So, that little piece of flotsam plankton thinks he can stay open longer than me, does he?
Sure. I don't know. Why not?
Well, he's wrong!
I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on SpongeBob Season 4? I personally actually like it, but there are some weird episodes in the season, one of them being Fear of a Krabby Patty. Let's dive into the first mistake in this one. It's interesting.
I didn't want to know how many days it's been. I lost track.
43.
Now, I'm totally overthinking this one, and to be honest, it's not even that noticeable of a mistake, which makes it even more fun to point out. Normally, Krusty Krab hats look like this, alright? And more importantly, they have an anchor on them. But if we watch this scene where SpongeBob is dropping the trays out of the chef's window, and we see this shot of Squidward, who is tweaking, by the way, that Krusty Krab hat is missing its anchor. We're zooming in here, and as you can see, the animators just did not draw the anchor, which is okay. This is a zoomed out shot. And like I said, no one would really even notice this, but Cartoon Corey did. I sure noticed it, and I'm gonna notice more in this next episode. Let's keep the video moving and head over to another one, baby. Our next mistake can be found in the episode Bossy Boots, but let's just get right into it as it's kind of complicated. So during this scene, as you can see, there is this car in the background, okay? It's there. Now, as the scene progresses and Pearl and SpongeBob leave the shot, that car that we just seen disappears.
It's a shame old man Krabs sold the Krusty Krab.
Hey, lady! Do you know where we can get something to eat around here?
That's it! I quit!
It didn't drive away because it happens in like seconds. It seems the animators drew it, as you can see here, but then forgot to include it in the next shot, thus giving us a weird mistake. And hey, that ain't it, as during this scene, we have another mistake. So as you can see, in this picture of a sea unicorn, the sea unicorn has a horn on its head. You can see it right here.
Reduces stress for only 5 easy payments at $9.95.
Mr. Krabs, Pearl is ruining the Krusty Krab.
But for some reason, later on in the shot, the horn just disappears during this shot.
Pearl is saving the Krusty Krab. What would we do without these beautiful $20 sea unicorn wall hangers?
The animators just forgot to draw it again, thus making for another really weird mistake. Like, geez, this episode is full of mistakes, and guys, I've got some crazier ones coming up, so stay tuned. Our next mistake can be found in the Season 12 special, SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout. Now, this episode is awesome, and pretty much serves as a homage to the show's history, and features tons of Easter eggs and returning characters. However, we're here for mistakes. I mean, it's in the title of the video, so yeah, let's talk about 2 sneaky mistakes. It's easy to miss, but during this wholesome shot of Mr. Krabs dancing with his daughter Pearl, the P normally found on Pearl's shirt is incorrectly colored as white, when, I mean, as you can see in this image of Pearl, it's supposed to be purple. It's always been purple, so it being white in this scene is definitely a mistake. Another mistake can also be found after the opening credits. Now, this one really is not that big of a deal. It's not a big deal, but we see a bubble transition, right? Which is technically a mistake as the episode starts on land. It's not underwater. We commonly only see this bubble transition when we're underwater. So the fact that they're on land and we get it is kind of a mistake. Again, not a huge mistake, but I've got plenty of crazier mistakes later on in the video, so stay tuned. For now though, here's some clips. In the episode, Copy Bob Ditto Pants, Plankton comes up with a new scheme. He makes an identical clone of SpongeBob, of course to steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula. But this doesn't go very well when SpongeBob, being the friendly sponge that he is, befriends the clone, thus ruining Plankton's scheme without even trying. Now there are a few mistakes in this episode, but the worst one takes place during this scene and has to do with Plankton's computer wife, Karen. It's easy to miss, but the location of Karen's wheels actually change throughout the episode. In some shots, they are beneath the lower platform, while in other shots, they also appear outside the lower platform. Not a big deal, but it's a weird inconsistency I noticed. Here's a clip.
More fruit punch, SpongeBob?
You know, Plankton, when you invited me over, I thought it was another trick to get the Krabby Patty formula. Now I see you just love social gatherings in the workplace.
No, Sponge Copy. We don't put dirty, nasty things in our mouth. Spit it out.
Here's another crazy mistake for you guys. It happens very quickly in the episode, The Two Faces of Squidward. I love this episode. He turns into handsome Squidward, but enough about handsome squids or handsome sea creatures. Here's the mistake.
Krabby Patty, Squidward, Krabby Patty, whose buds were white as snow.
Excuse me for just a second. Do you mind? I'm trying to work at a fast food restaurant. You might want to try it sometime.
I sure would, Squidward. That sounds...
Hey, wait a minute. SpongeBob, you already do work at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah!
Krabby Patty, Krabby
All right. I am gonna... well, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So, when SpongeBob and Patrick are in the kitchen, as you can see, the end condiments on this shelf right here, the end condiments are ketchup and mayonnaise. Okay, it goes ketchup and mayonnaise. You can see it right here, remember. But in the next few scenes, this completely changes. And now it's mustard, then ketchup. First it was ketchup, then mayo. Now it's mustard, then ketchup. I guess they could have changed the order, but considering this all happens in a matter of seconds, this was definitely a mistake, guys, and it's kind of a bad one. But hey, let's keep it moving over to another episode full to the brim with mistakes.
Very sloppy, Eugene, leaving an unprotected vent that leads right into your office.
We're back to SpongeBob, and the episode is Chums from season 13. A really good episode in my opinion that's all about Plankton going down to the sewers and meeting, you know, a bunch of chum that want to work with him. The plot itself is kind of weird, but the episode's pretty good. But you know what we're here for? We're here for mistakes, and here it is, guys.
F is for friends who do stop together. U is for you and me.
Did you guys catch it? It happens really, really fast, and it's somewhat of a common mistake in SpongeBob. But while SpongeBob is spraying the Krusty Krab in the beginning of the episode in the clips you guys just saw, look, for about one frame, his right eye turns yellow. It does go back to normal, but like, SpongeBob, you gotta go see a doctor about that eye, dude. You're gonna need some eye drops. Okay, so this next one's really funny, as there's two very obvious mistakes in one scene. Let's take a look at this first one. It has to do with SpongeBob's shirt.
And I mean, where does it all go? Huh? You know what I mean?
What smells rotten and puts people to sleep?
Noxious gas?
No! Your act!
Did you catch it? Well, SpongeBob's missing the white part of his shirt. It's just all brown. Normally, SpongeBob looks like this. He has a white shirt, as you guys already know. But in this one shot, he looks like this. Now, here's the question though. Did you guys catch the other mistake in this scene? Well, let's take a look at Incidental 40. As you can see, he's wearing a white shirt.
What smells rotten and puts people to sleep?
But then when he tries to diss or burn SpongeBob with his weak insult, he's now shirtless.
Noxious gas?
No! Your act!
So the animators, they like drew him with a shirt and then seconds later removed his shirt. Talk about a weird mistake. Let's move on.
I knew this can of hairspray would come in handy one day. Who's down there? I have an aerosol can, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Speaking of back doors, in the episode Friendiversary, take a look at this. Something's missing. Yeah, you guys probably caught this one. It's pretty easy, especially considering the last one. Where is the back door to the Krusty Krab? Like, it's a cartoon, you know, it's fine, I get it, but the back door should be there. It's been there ever since like the first season. And take a look at this shot right here. As you can see, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab are canonically across the street from one another. There are numerous examples. Here's another shot of it to show you it wasn't a one-time thing. Well, where is the Chum Bucket in this shot of Friendiversary? It's just not there. So yeah, a couple mistakes in this one right here. And let's keep it moving, guys. These ones were minor. It's time we get into the really bad mistakes today. Let's head over to another episode. Here is Fred. He's the dude who always yells, "My leg! My leg! My leg! My leg!" And throughout this whole episode, Mr. Krabs versus Plankton, he's brown. All right, we can see him right here. He's brown. We can fast forward a little bit to a later scene. He's brown again. And here's even one more shot where we can see Fred is brown, okay? But if we pay close attention when Mr. Krabs yells, "Never, you little runt." Jeez, Mr. Krabs, chill, dude. Look, Fred is randomly blue, and he has the same eye scale as Tom. The real issue here, though, is the color. The dude was brown in like every other scene. I highly doubt he went and got like fish plastic surgery and turned himself blue. What most likely happened is the animators drew him as brown and colored him as brown, and then for this one scene, they kind of messed up and forgot and drew him as blue. I'll forgive them, but still totally a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode. Speaking of the color blue, this is a big part of this next mistake as well, as when Plankton first enters the courtroom in the clips you guys just saw, we can see that this fish right here on the right of the door is blue. Remember this, all right? He's blue, just like Fred in that last scene. Here's the problem though, as the episode progresses, this changes, as look, when we see the jury again in this scene, that exact same fish is randomly orange now. Here's like a side-by-side, he was blue before, now he's orange. But hey, don't worry, when we see the jury for the third time, look, she's blue again. So he or she, they're blue again. What a messy scene. Like, all the mistakes in this episode are all coloring based, which is really funny. It's crazy how many different types of mistakes there are in SpongeBob, but you know what's also crazy, guys? The random mistake of the day, where we take a quick break from SpongeBob to talk about mistakes in another cartoon recommended by you guys. And one we've been getting a lot, it seems to be somewhat of a newer show, is Haley's On It. We're gonna go right back to SpongeBob, don't worry, but I watched an episode and I gotta say the show's actually like really good. It's good to see that there's new like 2D animated cartoons coming out that are still like really good. This is a banger of a show. Unfortunately though, of course, it has a mistake. I mean, it's what you guys clicked on this video for. The episode is called Beta'd and Hooked, and here's some context for you guys, all right? It has to do with this character right here named One-Eye Jack, all right? I'm showing a PNG of him. This is One-Eye Jack. And you'll probably notice that the dude only has one eye, all right? That's your hint for the mistake. Roll the footage.
One-Eyed Jack.
Dad, can you just tell us? Guess not.
And as I filled my belly, an angry force knocked me off my board. That's when I saw the one-eyed monster coming straight for me, his mouth wide open. Next thing I knew, I woke up on the beach next to my broken board. It's a miracle I'm still alive.
Did you guys catch it? Like, I'm not even super familiar with this show, but this one really cracked me up. So when One-Eyed Jack right here, remember, One-Eyed Jack takes the bait of the crisps for the first time, we see him turn his head to turn back to the sea, and look, Mr. One-Eyed Jack over here was drawn with two eyes. He has a second eye right here. So yeah, a really, really funny mistake. Like, how does this even happen? But let's head back over to SpongeBob.
And why are you sweating so much? And why do you look so hungry? And
No, wait, it's not what you think. This is a big misunderstanding. You've got to believe me. Listen, I am telling you, you better listen to me, SpongeBob.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
Next up, we've got some Season 3 goodness. One of my favorite Season 3 episodes, Just One Bite. In this episode, Squidward is exposed for loving Krabby Patties after he tries to lie and claim he doesn't like them. You're so fake, Squidward. Like, seriously, look at this compilation of this boy lying about not liking Krabby Patties. He lies so much in this episode, and then, of course, we're gonna get into the mistakes. They're really bad in this episode, so stay tuned.
Horrible, putrid, poorly prepared, vile, unappetizing, disgusting excuse for a sandwich it has ever been my displeasure to have slither down my throat. I gotta sneak one. Just one. Then I'm off the stuff for good.
It's hilarious because by the end of the episode, the dude explodes from eating so many Krabby Patties. But anyways, here's the first mistake, guys. Let's expose it.
I gotta have more. I gotta have more.
This one's a really bad mistake, and it happens towards the ending of the episode when Squidward gets caught and says the line, "I gotta have more." He is jonesing for Krabby Patties, holy. When Squidward says this, look, his mouth disappears for like a split second, leaving for a really weird shot of Squidward. This also happens again when Squidward turns around before this scene and says SpongeBob. Yeah, same thing, his mouth disappears for like a split second, which is definitely a mistake, and I feel bad for Squidward because he's gonna need his mouth to eat all those Krabby Patties. So yeah, here's another mistake from this episode. This one's just as bad.
Yes! Yes! I admit it, SpongeBob! I love Krabby Patties!
I knew it all along, Squidward. No one can resist a Krabby Patty.
It happens around the same time as the last one, but for about a split second during his lines, one of his pores or holes just turns blue. Like, what is going on here, SpongeBob? That is not supposed to be blue. What? I can tell you what the issue is here. It's an animation error. If you look behind SpongeBob, the patty vault is blue. So for whatever reason, the layer of his pores, they're like clipping through and showing the blue wall behind it, which, you know, is definitely a mistake. Mistakes happen, but this one's kind of rough. I don't know how they missed it. I don't know how they missed it. This one either. Here's one more from Just One Bite, and then we'll head over to another episode, guys. Lots of other episodes coming up.
Triple Krabby Supreme! Triple Krabby Supreme! Did somebody order a Triple Krabby Supreme? Huh, they must have left.
I'm gonna make this one quick because it's a very typical SpongeBob error. Don't worry, there's lots of crazier ones coming up, but in the scenes where Incidental 40 is enjoying his king-size Ultra Krabby Supreme I Want One, the chum bucket, which should be across from the street, is just missing. Here's a shot showing that normally it is across the street, there's a path between them, but in this episode, Just One Bite, the chum bucket just doesn't exist anymore, I guess. The animators just forgot that it's supposed to be across the street.